Test 1, 2, 3. Good evening and welcome to Lawrence North. Good evening and welcome to Lawrence North High School for tonight's 6A showdown between number 2 Center Grove and Lawrence North. Pair 1, Kevin Conrad along with Ted Kitchell and Rick Embry. We welcome you to Center Grove Trojan football presented by IU Health. Ted Kitchell, we got fall-like weather tonight, 56 degrees as we near game time. Beautiful night for football, and it's a special night when Coach Moore takes on his former assistant coach, Patrick Mallory. Coach says this is a tough week leading up to this game, but they have a lot of respect for one another.
Yeah, it's a perfect night. I mean, it's mid-50s and not much wind and sun's out and it's beautiful. And I know that the Center Grove fans will be out. But, yeah, I can see why it would be difficult. Obviously, he and Coach Mallory are very good friends. Coach Mallory pretty much mirror image of Center Grove as far as doing the things that Center Grove does. They run the wing tee. They do all the same type things. And they've had some success. And at times they've played very well this year. I mean, they beat Warren last week. They were right in the game against Ben Davis, lost. So they're a very good football team, but Coach Mallory has not had much success against the mentor when it comes to wins and losses.
Rick, let's start with the Center Grove. We always talk about the offense first, but I want to talk about the defense tonight. I just felt like last Friday in the win against Pike, the Center Grove defensive line, probably the best we've seen them all season long, and we were kind of told it would be a work in progress with that defensive line. Lost a lot of great players through graduation, so these guys very inexperienced at the varsity level, but boy, did they really step up last week against Pike.
Yeah, I agree. I thought last week was their best performance there, that defensive line. I mean, you know, it's easy to forget that, you know, those 4 guys are replacing 3 D1 guys and 1 D2 guy that played on that line not only last year, for the previous 2 or 3 years. So obviously big shoes to fill. But, yeah, I thought those guys, I think they continue to get better. Railing's had a good year. Ryan Railing, Elijah Chandler, Ryder Woolwine as a sophomore, and Nate Johnson. I think those guys continue to get better, and they're going to need to be better, and hopefully they will continue to make steps tonight.
And, Ted, let's go back a couple of weeks with that Center Grove defense. That first half, it was a crazy first half against Lawrence Central, giving up 33 points. But Center Grove defense, they made adjustments at halftime. They only gave up 8 points in the second half to LC. They get the shutout last week against Pike. So I'm just kind of curious to see how the defense does here tonight, trying to build off this momentum.
Yeah, I would like to think that they learned a lot from that first half against Lawrence Central. They just, pretty much got punched in the mouth right there, and just not very good. I mean, we didn't keep people in front of us, and we just didn't seem to understand what was going on. But I'm sure at halftime the coaches talked about it. I'm sure the Coach Moore discussed it with his defensive backfield. And since that time, they've been a lot better, and things have been looking up for Center Grove.
And, Rick, let's talk about the other side of the ball, the Center Grove offensive line. You're talking about controlling the line of scrimmage last week against Pike. It seemed like the Trojans could pretty much do what they wanted offensively, and they go over 400 yards rushing. Didn't really have to pass as much, but, boy, that O-line was so good last week.
Well, and I think it's kind of interesting. A couple weeks ago in pregame, Ted and I and you were talking about how Center Grove had more passing yards than rushing yards for the season, and somebody down there heard us, and in the last 2 weeks they've been over 400 yards rushing both games. So, you're right. That opening drive, even though it didn't result in any points because we fumbled last week, I mean, you could just tell there's big holes for those guys, both Coyle and Thomason, both over 100 yards for the second straight week. And that's when you can start seeing that offensive line is kind of imposing their will, and it's going to do nothing but help Tyler Cherry back there as well, because then you give a threat that, is it the run that sets up the pass? Is it the pass that sets up the run? But you get all facets clicking like that, and that's a very, very difficult offense to stop.
I would say, Ted, let's elaborate a little bit more on that. Again, 1,700 yards rushing for Center Grove, 1,300 yards passing. Again, very balanced. If you were to watch the game film and you were like a defensive coordinator, where do you begin? This is like a two-headed monster. Do you try to take away the run, or do you try to take away the pass? How do you begin to defend this Center Grove offense?
Well, I think it'd be very difficult. I noticed exactly what Rick was saying, because I came to the press box a couple weeks ago and I said, "Are you kidding me? We've got more pass yards than we got rushing yards. I mean, are we really seriously talking about a Coach Moore football team?" But today, I look at and all of a sudden, the last two games, we've just been dominant running the football. But all that's going to do is open up your passing game. I mean, like I called it last week, we got a first down around midfield. I said, this is about the time. I mean, and Coy, he ended up dropping it, but it was a touchdown pass. And so the rushing game is going to open up the passing game. But more than anything, what it all comes down to is your offensive line. They count on their offensive line to get openings when they're running the football, protect the quarterback when they're passing the football. Coach Moore, when he's most successful, he's got great lines, great offensive line, great defensive line. That's what dominates the football game, blocking and tackling, doing the little things. And this football team continues to get better every week.
Tonight, the Center Grove Trojans are on the road to take on the Lawrence North Wildcats. For Lawrence North, it's senior night. Great night for football, 56 degrees, plenty of sunshine, and the Trojans will finish out the schedule as far as games against the MIC Conference here tonight against the Wildcats. This is our Heidelberger Allstate Insurance Agency pregame show. You're in good hands with Allstate. Our pregame show continues after this timeout.
The right care, the right support, the right time. When you need highly skilled primary care, we're right here for you with same-day appointments for safe in-person care, virtual visits you can access at home, urgent care that lets you save a spot, and 24/7 online scheduling. IU Health gives you more options for highly skilled primary care, when, where, and how you need it. To get the right care for you, visit iuhealth.org/more options.
Everyone want a free furnace? Here's one for you and you.
Walk the plank, Chad. Here's some candy, kids.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim yours today.
Could I get one? Sure thing. Whatever it takes.
Buying a boat or pontoon with over 100 new and quality pre-owned options, Marine Center of Indiana will help you fulfill your boating dreams. The largest selection, the lowest prices. Regal, Sea Ray, Stingray, Berkshire, and more on sale now. Indy's only top 100 and certified master boat dealer. The best selection of boating accessories and a 50-boat service area open 6 days a week. Take advantage of our in by Monday, out by Friday policy. Marine Center of Indiana. We love what we do, and it shows. Visit online at marinecenterusa.com.
Back here at Lawrence North High School, the Center Grove Trojans taking on the Wildcats tonight. Great night for football, 56 degrees. Senior night for Lawrence North. Rick, let's get back to it. Tyler Cherry, junior quarterback. He's been so efficient in passing the ball this year. 77 completions and 114 attempts for 1,329 yards, 4 touchdowns. Got the 3 interceptions, but he's completed 68% of his passes. His quarterback play has been impeccable this year in his first year as a starter.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that first game against Warren Central, he was pretty nervous, but since then, man, he's been fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic numbers. 67% completion rate, 190 yards per game, 14 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. 2 of those were in one half against LC. So, I mean, for a Center Grove offense, if your quarterback is throwing for 190 yards a game, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, you pretty much couldn't ask for anything else. And obviously, Noah Coy is his main target, 34 receptions, 739 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So he's been his main guy. But he's found some other guys, especially in the last few weeks. He's really spread the ball around. Baldwin and Dickin and and T.J. Williams at that tight end position, Owen Wright as well. All of those guys, he's really starting to share the ball more, throwing the ball.
For the Trojans, Rick, still without Eli Holt and Zach Greller out of the lineup. But you're right. How about Grant Baldwin? He got an opportunity last week, and he made the most of it. He's a senior, 5'9", 175 pounds, and I felt like he played a splendid game last week against Pike.
Well, it's like with anything else, and Ted talks about it all the time. You don't put your head down and go, well, woe is us. I guess we can just stop the season when your number one running back gets hurt 7 plays into the entire season and he's out for the year. You don't put your head down whenever one of your starting safeties hurts his knee and he's out for the year. It's just you got to have the mentality of next man up, and I thought it was really interesting. Good article by our buddy behind us talking about Jalen Thomason this year and how when we got hurt that first week, Coach Moore and his coaching staff just kind of looked at each other and thought, who's the best person to replace him? They take a kid that hasn't run the ball since his 4th grade season over at Mount Vernon and has been a defensive starter for 2 years for Center Grove, and they move him to running back because they feel like he's the best running back. Well, that's worked out pretty well. Thomason's had a good season as well running the ball.
Ted, let's move to the opponent tonight, the Lawrence North Wildcats. They've been really, really good the last couple of games, losing a real close one to Ben Davis 2 weeks ago on the road, 34-28, and then getting a nice road win last week against Warren Central, 35-14. But just talk a little more, Ted, about this Lawrence North team. Maybe they're starting to get things figured out here late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, they've played very well. I mean, in talking about Cherry, not to move away from that, but talking about Cherry, I imagine there's a few people in this state that would trade him for Matt Ryan right now, down at the Colts. I mean, if anybody was goofy enough to stay up and watch that massacre last night.
We weren't going to talk about the Colts game, Ted.
Oh, my goodness.
You brought it up.
I just kept sitting there thinking this has got to get better, but it just never did. I mean, congratulations to the Colts. They were able to persevere and win the game. But, I think that Lawrence North is obviously playing with some confidence. I mean, they're putting some points on the board against some good teams. Ben Davis a couple of weeks ago, Warren Central. I don't know exactly what to think of Warren Central. I don't know if they've kind of checked out or what, but they're really struggling right now. But Lawrence North really, took it to them and was able to get a big win. So this is an important game, and we came in here last year, in the regional. I think we come up here in the regional, and this team played Center Grove, the best team in the football state for the last 2 years. They played Center Grove nose to nose, and the best that anybody had played us all year until we faced Westfield at the end of the year. But it'll be a very difficult team to play. And Coach Moore, when you watch the little thing that they do when he comes and talks about it, I thought there was one thing that he said, if you're going to win football games, the most important thing you have to have, and I don't care if it's football, if it's basketball, baseball, whatever it might be, soccer, toughness. He said when Pat took this job up here, he said, I pulled him aside and said, if you're ever going to win, you've got to have toughness. You've got to be tough mentally and physically. And so that's what you're going to get from Lawrence North's side of the field tonight. And, I think Center Grove will win the football game, but it's not going to be a walk away.
Yeah, last year the Trojans were here in the regional 29-19. Center Grove pulled that one off, and it was in doubt for a while. And up to that point, I think Lawrence North was probably the team that had played the Trojans the best up until, of course, the state championship game. Of course, Westfield probably could have, should have, would have maybe beaten the Trojans. But thank you to Owen Bright getting that interception against Westfield in the state championship game. But let's stick with Lawrence North. And Ted, back to you. Maybe some of the playmakers tonight for this Wildcat team. Obviously, it starts with their junior quarterback, Montez Jones. He's got 10 touchdowns, but he's got 7 interceptions. I know he threw quite a few against Whiteland and a road loss earlier in the season to Whiteland. And since then, I think they've kind of dialed back a little bit on the passing game. And as a result, I think they've been more effective.
Yeah, they have decent numbers. He's 65 for 109 for 1,000. He's over 1,000 yards passing the football. Average about 15.5 yards per catch. So they're a very good football team, but you talk about the interceptions, and when you play against a team like Center Grove, you guarantee they've been checking film out all week. They've been making notes, and so he's going to have to be a very good decision maker back there tonight if they expect to win.
And Ted, Ollie Richardson, we remember him from last year, the running back. Very impressive. He's 572 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. He's going to be a great weapon for the Wildcats out of the backfield tonight.
Yeah, he's their main running the football, and they'll mix in a little bit of the pass. I mean, the quarterback, you've got to keep him in the pocket. I mean, he's 51 for 296, almost 300 yards running the football this year. So he's definitely someone that you can't let him get outside the pocket. Once he gets outside the pocket, he can run, makes it easier. It makes it difficult on the defensive backs trying to guard people. So you got to keep him contained and watch out and know that he's going to be a force.
And Rick, how about on the other side of the ball for the Wildcats, some of their playmakers on defense?
Yeah, they're led in tackles, Kevin, by their safety, number 7, Deion Vaughn. He leads them in 70 tackles. That can go both ways. You don't normally want your leading tackler to be your safety, but that also is indicative of how many passes that teams throw around these days. So, he's their leading tackler at the safety position. Also, one of their fine players on defense, number 4, Samarion Ford, 50 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks from that linebacker position. So those are 2 guys that Center Grove's going to really have to keep an eye on this week and make sure that they get blocked and take care of.
And Ted, let's talk about the Trojan special teams play. I thought last week, covering kicks, covering the punt, maybe the best we've seen all season long. The Trojans stayed in their lanes, they tackled well, and as a result, they were really good on special teams.
Yeah, I thought it was the best that we've seen. We've seen the special teams play. We've seen some struggles with that whenever we kick it long. I know Warren gave us some problems early in the year, so did Ben Davis. But I thought last week, it's something you can tell that they've really been working on it. I mean, he was able to kick it down into that, 10, 15 yardage, and then we got great coverage. I mean, our guys got down there, tackled the football, and there was a number of times where they started inside the 20. So I think that obviously that's something. It's a key point, and it's something that Coach Moore and his coaching staff they've been working on.
And Rick, sticking with special teams play, obviously not having Eli Holt in the lineup last week. He's not in the lineup again tonight. What we saw last week on punt returns, where they're letting that ball drop, and they're getting that 10 to 15 yards of extra on the roll and so forth. So I'm sure that was a point of emphasis this past week with Coach and practice. You got to get your punt return guys up there to catch those short ones, whether it's a fair catch or whatever it is, but you just got to get up there and have that confidence and make those catches.
Well, and some of that is obviously reflective of new guys that are back there. I mean, we saw Jalen Thomason back there a couple times, and that's a new face back there to return punts. So I'm sure, they'll get that addressed. I mean, we harp on it probably more than we should up here, but it's such a big difference. You let that ball bounce, and about 80 to 90% of the time, you're going to go backwards 10 to 15 or more yards from that punt. It makes such a big difference if you can come up and try to fair catch that one and give yourself even better field position.
So once again, the Trojans tonight here at Lawrence North. Final road game of the regular season for the Trojans. It is senior night for the Lawrence North Wildcats. And guys, I did a little number crunching this week. The Trojans have won 34 straight games against Indiana schools. It's just interesting to crunch numbers and look back at this streak. The Trojans have won 16 straight on the road against Indiana teams. And the Trojans against the MIC Conference during this stretch, 24-0. And we'll hear from Coach in just a moment. But to think that the Trojans in 2020, undefeated in the MIC, last year undefeated in the MIC, and they got a chance. I know they're independent this year, but they're going to have a chance tonight, Rick, to play Lawrence North, their final MIC opponent. If they get the win tonight, they will go undefeated against the MIC schools again this year, and nobody's ever gone 3 years in a row in doing that.
Well, nobody's ever gone 2 years in a row, Kevin, and they did that last year. So last year was the first time anybody had ever went back-to-back undefeated seasons in the MIC, and yeah, like you said, obviously not in the MIC now, but you still played an entire MIC schedule. So, yeah, if you're able to get another win tonight and make that 3 years in a row, that's just once again reflective of the football powerhouse that Coach Moore has built on the south side.
So once again, it's Center Grove football tonight on the road, taking on the Lawrence North Wildcats here on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Coming up next, our Aaron Holt will speak to Center Grove head coach Eric Moore about tonight's matchup. This is Center Grove Trojan football presented by IU Health.
The right care, the right support, the right time. When you need highly skilled primary care, we're right here for you with same-day appointments for safe in-person care, virtual visits you can access at home, urgent care that lets you save a spot, and 24/7 online scheduling. IU Health gives you more options for highly skilled primary care, when, where, and how you need it. To get the right care for you, visit iuhealth.org/more options.
Thanks to you, Ray Skillman was just awarded GMC Dealer of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. We have hundreds of pre-owned vehicles to choose from and brand new vehicles arriving every day.
Are you looking to sell your vehicle? We'll give you a check on the spot in as little as 30 minutes.
Come check out the new GMCs on our lot before they disappear.
2 great locations, US 31 South and I-465 and East Washington Street or RaySkillmanCars.com.
Pointer, the company you know as the experts in metal, offers commercial and residential signage, custom handrails, kitchen hoods, fire pits, metal panels, and more. No project is too big or small for our team. Let Pointer manage your next project relating to all things metals by calling 317-893-1193 or visit pointersheetmetal.com for more information. Pointer is proud to support the Center Grove community and surrounding areas.
Texas Roadhouse. Can't leave that memory behind.
Stop by Texas Roadhouse for Wild West Wednesdays. Enjoy a hand-cut 11-ounce sirloin dinner for $9.99. That's right, an 11-ounce sirloin for only $9.99.
Can't forget that Texas Roadhouse. Can't leave that memory behind.
This is the Heidelberger Allstate Insurance Agency pregame show. And, Coach, before we get on the buses and head up to Lawrence North, let's talk about a great victory last week up at Pike. Your team came out. We were wondering how they were going to respond, and they jumped on Pike pretty quick. And your overall thoughts about that game?
It's hard to think back about that game. We've been so concentrated on Lawrence North this week, but Pike was had the Center Grove side was unbelievable atmosphere. Thank everybody that went up to support us at Pike, but the poor kids at Pike, didn't get to have much of a following. So we needed to make sure we produced our own energy, and I thought our kids did a great job from the start off going out and doing it. We made some big plays, started with the ball on the 1-foot line on offense and drove it all the way down the field till we fumbled the ball down on our end. But I loved the drive. I knew at that point we could move the ball. The defense was keeping the great Pike athletes contained to their side of the field, and I thought it was a complete victory. So many kids played and made some big plays and did a great job. I really can appreciate our kids handling the travel and getting off the bus and dominating.
When you think about Lawrence North and going up there tonight, it's a big game. It's a historic game in many respects. And a little trivia for you, I looked it up today, but do you know the last time we lost a MIC game or an opponent that, if we were in the conference, it's still kind of a MIC game? Do you know the last time that Center Grove lost one of those games?
2009. 18 game one or 19 game one?
Close to it. It's actually September 20th, 2019 against North Central. And since then, we've been on a roll. And if you look at what we did in 2020, 2021, we took the conference, did not lose a game. And here we are this year, and I know we're not officially in the conference, but we're playing the conference schedule that we normally do. And you have the opportunity as a program. Last year you did something that's never been done. This year, your thoughts on if we can get this victory tonight, it's 21 straight against the best competition in the state.
Yeah, it'd be 3 years in a row doing it. I lose those numbers. I have a lot going on in my mind. I can't remember all that stuff. I apologize for that. It's important. We talked last night to the kids about could be the last time we play a full circuit of MIC teams, and it's important. We wanted to finish strong. And even though there's no trophy or championship after this, there really is. But we got to play this game. We got to take it. Every game from tonight on is big, and we got to approach it that way. It's the biggest game of our life, maybe, and we got to approach it that way. So it's going to be a tough situation to take a long drive up there tonight and then get focused. It's going to be their Super Bowl. I told our kids we won't be able to meet match their passion in pregame, but when it gets on the field, we got to start. You take away great passion by punching guys right in the throat and playing football, and I'm hoping that's what we do.
When you think about the last 2 years since we mentioned it, the two hardest games, one or at least top four that we had, was actually Lawrence North, and we struggled in the first half, it seemed, and you guys adjusted. Do you attribute that to Coach Mallory knowing a little bit about our system, or just him knowing how big Center Grove is and getting them pumped up, or what do you respond to on that?
Well, it's a great combination of both. Obviously, he knows what we do because they do a lot of the same things we do. So it's familiar to them, like their stuff is familiar to us. But when I told Coach when Coach Mallory took that job, the number one thing you have to do is establish toughness. And they've had bad records and they've had decent records, but they've always been a tough football team that always hit. And if you can do that, you can be in every game. And that's the difference in winning and losing. You got to be there in the end. And they've learned that. They've learned how to win this year. We got to make sure that, and remind them tonight that it's our time to win.
They're coming off a big victory against Warren Central. They have a lot of momentum going their way. We're going to need a lot of people out there going over to Lawrence North tonight. I know fall break started today. If you can't get there, please tune in to the webcast. Next week is fall break. The whole week we're going to get ready for another game. By the way, this Sunday, Coach, it's that time of year, the selection show for the tournament for us to defend our title third time. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, we'll worry about that Sunday. Right now, I'm just worried about Lawrence North, and we know that it's going to be tough. When we talk to the kids this week, that we're going to have to generate our own enthusiasm like we did last week over at Pike, because there's other things going on in this world, and one of them is a fall vacation. It's going to overlap on 2 games, but it happens every year. This is going to see how much we really love football. If we come out and play football the next 2 weeks, especially tonight, if we come out and really play well tonight, then that showed me in my heart that these guys really want to win and play football, because this is it. This is about closing out that MIC contract and all the MIC teams forever. We don't know what's going to happen there, so we have the opportunity, like you said earlier, 3 years in a row to go through the whole conference undefeated. No team has done that in the 25-year history of the MIC. So if you can get out there tonight, get out there. If you watch online, jump up and down in your living room, but please try to get up to Lawrence North. Go Trojans, beat the Wildcats.
The right care, the right support, the right time. When you need highly skilled primary care, we're right here for you with same-day appointments for safe, in-person care, virtual visits you can access at home, urgent care that lets you save a spot, and 24/7 online scheduling. IU Health gives you more options for highly skilled primary care, when, where, and how you need it. To get the right care for you, visit iuhealth.org/more options.
Aqua Systems was founded over 50 years ago to make the best water softeners and drinking water systems available, and to just make it easy to get great water. People who shop us buy from us. Why? Clear pricing on great equipment with the best warranties anywhere. If you don't love your water system, bring it back. Everything comes with a money-back guarantee, so there's no need for high pressure. Give Aqua Systems a try. You'll love your water.
Buying a boat or pontoon with over 100 new and quality pre-owned options, Marine Center of Indiana will help you fulfill your boating dreams. The largest selection, the lowest prices. Regal, Sea Ray, Stingray, Berkshire, and more on sale now. Indy's only top 100 and certified master boat dealer. The best selection of boating accessories and a 50-boat service area open 6 days a week. Take advantage of our in by Monday, out by Friday policy. Marine Center of Indiana. We love what we do, and it shows. Visit online at marinecenterusa.com.
Everyone want a free furnace? Here's one for you and you. Walk the plank, Chad. Here's some candy, kids.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim yours today.
Could I get one? Sure thing. Whatever it takes.
Tonight, the Center Grove Trojans, the number 2 team in Class 6A, on the road, taking on the Lawrence North Wildcats. Kevin Conrad, Ted Kitchell, Rick Embry with you tonight here on the northeast side of Indy. 55 degrees as we near game time. It's senior night here for Lawrence North. So we might be just a little delayed in our kickoff here tonight. Rick, just your impressions or interpretation of what Coach Moore had to say in tonight's pregame show. Ted kind of alluded to it earlier, but toughness, that's something that he always would preach to Coach Mallory when he took over this program. You may not always get the wins, but you always want to have a program that's tough and have that toughness. And I just think that's what Coach Mallory's definitely instilled here with Lawrence North.
Yeah, and I think even though he hasn't beat Coach Moore yet, I think we've had some really close competitive games against them, and you're never going to get a situation like, I think we saw a little bit last week with Pike, that there wasn't a lot of motivation on that Pike sideline, and Coach Moore even mentioned they didn't have a lot of fans over there either. You're never going to see that from a Coach Mallory team. Those guys are going to compete and play hard, and they took last year a Center Grove team that beat them by 4 touchdowns in the regular season, and they absolutely had Center Grove on the ropes. And really, with the exception of some poor special teams play, Center Grove got a couple block punts in that second half of that ball game. Lawrence North would have beat Center Grove, and nobody expected that last year. So I really think, Coach Moore obviously has a ton of respect for Coach Mallory, and is a big fan and a big friend of his and a mentor to him. So he's expecting a hard-fought, competitive game tonight.
And Ted, also during that pregame interview, Coach talked about the focus is on Lawrence North tonight. They're not worried about Cathedral next Friday at home. They're not worried about the pairing show coming up on Sunday for the state tournament. It's all about putting the focus here on Lawrence North. And Coach even said, I hardly remember too much about the Pike game last week because it's all been about Lawrence North this past week and preparing for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the guy he's looking across the field at, the head coach for Lawrence North. Coach Moore has a tremendous amount of pride also in what type of things his football team is doing. Obviously he's had tremendous amount of success winning all the football games they've won over the last 3 or 4 years. But it reminds me a little bit, with Nick Saban down at Alabama. You don't see his assistants coming back and beating up on him. Most of the time he's out beating up on the assistants, and they're trying to get to his level. And that's kind of the same thing with Coach Moore. He's set himself apart. There's a reason his football teams win, and I thought it was very interesting that he said toughness. He didn't say, do this or do that. He said, your teams, you have got to have tough people. And it's not always easy making somebody tough. I played for a guy that the same type of things. We were tough. We did not like to lose, and I see a lot of the same things that I went through over there on the other sideline with Coach Moore. His guys are tough, and they expect expect the best out of themselves each and every night.
So once again, the Trojans in the locker room getting some final words from Coach Moore and his staff. Again, things a little bit delayed as far as getting to the kickoff because it is senior night, so a festive atmosphere here tonight for the Lawrence North Wildcats. And for Center Grove, today starts fall break, Rick. And I know for coaches, they like routine. They don't like it when players and students are gone for an entire week next week. Of course, the athletes have to stay in town and continue to practice. But we'll see how the Trojans handle fall break next week.
He always worries about that, and rightfully so. Instead of practicing, at 3 o'clock or 3:30 like they do every day of the week, and after the kids have been to school. So I think they're getting ready to do the national anthem, Kevin.
We'll pause for the playing of our national anthem by the Lawrence North Wildcat Marching Band. Lawrence North Marching Band with tonight's national anthem. Well done. And Rick, just to finish up your thought, again, fall break starts today for Center Grove. Center Grove's off next week, but again, I know this is always a concern to Coach Moore because he likes routine. Students are out of school. Practice gets a little bit, changed up on times and things of that nature, but you got to stay focused. It's that time of the year. You got to finish strong and get ready for the postseason.
Yeah, so instead of, those kids going to class from 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock and he knows where they're at and he knows they're in class, and then they get ready for football, and that's the same routine that you've done over the previous 8-9 weeks. Instead, you could have kids that decide to sleep until 10 or 11 in the morning and stay up till 1 or 2, and that's what he worries about with that thing. Now, with that being said, if you take care of business tonight, if you can't remain focused for an unbelievable game next Friday against Cathedral and a team that you got some history with and some of that, then you probably shouldn't be playing football. That's kind of what it is, but they're also 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
We do see the Center Grove captains on the far side of the field coming to the 50-yard line. And now we'll see the Trojans emerge from the locker room just to our left, so they're about ready to run on the football field. Again, it's senior night here tonight for the Lawrence North, the Wildcats, so an opportunity to recognize their football seniors and also, I believe, those from the cheer squad and the dance squad as well.
Another thing, Kevin, we talk about the differences that Coach Mallory has made for this program. Look at the improvements in the facilities over the last 5 years. 5 years ago we came and there was an old press box and all of that stuff. There wasn't the nice football facility in the what would that be, the west end of the football field, and that's a reflection of what Coach Mallory has built with this program.
Very good point. New stands, new press box, new locker room here for Lawrence North. And across the way, captain tonight for the Trojans, I see number 75, Nate Johnson. He had a great game last week on that defensive line for the Trojans against Pike. How about number 70, Cooper Rako, center, long snapper, does a great job on that offensive line. Also, Gage Reese, he's one of Center Grove's top tacklers, a defensive back, and trying to catch the number of the other captain tonight. It might be 15. Is it 15? If so,
It's
that's
Cherry,
Tyler Cherry, captain tonight for the Trojans. He's the junior quarterback. And now we do see the Center Grove Trojans on the far side of the field. Tonight, the Trojans in the road white uniforms, trimmed in red. Something about the white uniforms. I like them. I know Coach Moore, he loves them. When we play down at Lucas Oil Stadium, he's got a pretty darn good record in those white uniforms in the state championship game.
Ted's always about the uniform, the look, the color, all of that stuff. That's kind of how he rolls. I know he looks at the Colts uniform combinations.
Well, Ted, back in the day, did you like the cream or the crimson? Which did you prefer? Did you like to wear the white?
I like to wear the white because usually when you're wearing white, you're at home.
That's right.
So that was always a good thing.
They're a little nicer to you at home, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And now we see the Lawrence North Wildcats. Rick, how about our cameraman up top tonight? It's going to be a little chilly for Grant and Sam up top.
Better them than us. I'll say that, and I'll never say that to his face. But Grant's a tougher kid. He's a tougher kid than me. I'll be the first to admit. He likes wearing shorts pretty much year round, so that's not going to affect him. Even though he was a little soft tonight, asked me to stop and get him some hand warmers at the gas station, and of course the one place I went to didn't have any yet. So I told him to suck it up and just deal with it up there. At least there's no precipitation tonight, which might happen here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Stay tuned. State tournament right around the corner. The state tournament draw is coming up on Sunday at 5 o'clock, so we'll see who the Trojans draw in the sectional. The Trojans in the sectional this year, of course, you got Franklin Central and Columbus North, but Jeffersonville back in the sectional this year for the Trojans. Back up in 6A. They've never really been in 6A. They were in 5A with the Trojans years ago. But when 6A came around, they stayed at 5A, but they're up in 6A. So, Rick and Ted, I know you guys always like that trip to Jeffersonville every year.
Let's hope we avoid that one.
We've done that trip once.
Yes. Now, the one thing about that trip, and I'll never forget. Well, there's a couple things I won't forget. Number one, the field conditions and whatever you call that goat pasture that we played in. But they at least have turf now. But
they do.
The press row feast that they had. I remember barbecue. I remember some really good eats down there. So, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. So that's what I remember from that trip.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bad about Jeffersonville. The only negative is having to drive down there because the football team that they usually put on the field. I don't think they're going to be dealing with Center Grove anytime soon.
Now, I will say Franklin Central, I know Center Grove's kind of had their number in the playoffs, but I really think Jason West is building that program the right way, and they're at least competitive in most of and they've won a couple games in the HCC. They get another chance tonight against an undefeated HSE team. I think that's a program that will continue to be on the rise.
Captains tonight for Lawrence North, Montez Jones, quarterback. Samirion Ford, he's a defensive back. Dantu Gardner, he's a defensive lineman, and along with Ali Richardson, running back.
Lawrence North won the toss. They chose to defer, so Center Grove will get the ball. Looks like we got Thomason and Rylan Cook are two of the guys back deep for Center Grove. I think Center Grove's ready to go.
Yeah, Center Grove's on the field. They're ready to play.
About a 10-minute delay. Lots of seniors, football, band, cheerleaders, dance team, everybody else getting recognized, and rightfully so. Kudos to those kids for sticking it out for 4 years and getting that recognition along with their parents. But let's play some football.
Center Grove will receive the opening kickoff.
Andrew Hargrove, senior kicker for Lawrence North. So he'll do the kickoffs, and they use Matt Dempsey for their field goals and PAT kicks. Hargrove, good legs, 7 touchbacks this season. He also punts for this Lawrence North team. Already very impressed with his punt average, 43.5 yards per punt. We're ready to go. Center Grove here at Lawrence North. Underway. High but short kick, and it will go out of bounds, and it'll be Center Grove football at the 35. So great field position tonight for the Trojans.
Yeah, we're used to seeing that kind of kick from the Center Grove sidelines, and right there, Lawrence North chooses to do that one, and he did not get good leg on it, and it went well out of bounds. So yeah, good field position right off the bat for the Center Grove offense.
Tyler Cherry having a fantastic junior season. 1,329 yards passing. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. He'll start in shotgun formation. Hand off to Micah Coyle. What a senior year he's having. He gets outside. He goes down the sideline. Great block down the field by Noah Coy, and he steps out at the 38-yard line. So phenomenal run here by Coyle. Let's watch the replay.
Good blocking, and he able to bump it out to the left side. But just tremendous blocking, great run, and great start.
Yeah, he just bounced that to the outside and made one guy miss, and then he was kind of down the sidelines. 27 yards, Kevin, on that gain.
Second carry from the line of scrimmage. It goes to the 34-yard line. 4 yards.
Pretty big hole on that left side again behind Gardner, Weesey, and then the tight end TJ Williams as well on that left side. On the right side, you got Luke McDaniel, John Lyon, a couple seniors, and a junior, Peyton Hutchins at center for Center Grove.
Offensive line controlled the line of scrimmage last week in the great win against Pike. Center Grove goes for 414 yards rushing against the Red Devils. Off to a good start tonight on the ground, and here comes Jalen Thomason. He's inside the 30 to the 29. He's going to be about a half yard short of a first down.
Yeah, neither one of those really, Ted, looked like there was, a lot of space or anything, but then you look up and Center Grove gets 4 and 5 yards on both of those carries.
Third and 1. 5 yards for Thomason. Center Grove was able to really establish the run last week against Pike. Doing the same here tonight against the Wildcats. Here comes Coyle. He sidesteps the first defender, and now the offensive line trying to push him for the first down. It's going to be close.
Yeah, you should have that. Yeah, they're already motioning. Guy on the sideline here is pointing to first down.
28-yard line. Now they're going to say football closer to the 27. Got a couple of yards. New set of downs for the Trojans as they break huddle. 4 wide receiver set. Thomason, the lone back in the backfield behind Cherry. Thomason takes the handoff, and he's wrapped up by 17 for Lawrence North. Kind of drags him for a yard or so. 17 tonight is Kamari Hagler, defensive lineman.
Yeah, last 2 times, Lawrence North's done a good job with those inside runs. Both successful runs that Center Grove has done so far has been to the outside. So you'll see a steady diet of different runs to figure out where those holes are.
26-yard line, got a yard, second down and 9. Cherry play action. Good coverage by Lawrence North. He has time. He throws it to Noah Coy at the 15-yard line for the first down.
Well done. I mean, that was just – I mean, his first look wasn't open. His second look wasn't open. Finally, he knows he's under pressure. He knows he's about ready to get hit, and yet he delivers the football right in there, right for a first down, and continues moving down the football field.
Carter McKinstry, junior defensive back with the tackle, should say linebacker. First down Trojans at the Lawrence North 15-yard line. Opening drive of tonight's ball game. Here comes Thomason, spins at the end of that run. He's close to the 10-yard line. Gets 4 to 5 yards.
He's down at the 11.
We're inside 9 minutes to play, first quarter.
Good drive so far for Center Grove. Obviously, you want to come away with 7 when you get down here and not settle for 3. So, good pickup on first down by Jalen Thomason. Now Center Grove trying to find a way to get in the end zone.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You don't want to. Last week on the first drive, we moved it down the football field and then fumbled.
At the 11-yard line, Micah Coyle to the 2-yard line. 9 yards for Micah Coyle.
That's all behind those 3 interior guys. Austin Weesey on the left side, Peyton Hutchins at center, and then John Lyon, the other guard. And then you have the tight end coming in motion there, T.J. Williams kicking out the defensive end. And, yeah, Coyle gets hit on about the 7 and then carries guys to the maybe 2.5.
First and goal at the 2-yard line. Thomason trying to get into the end zone, his second effort. No indication yet.
He's in.
Real close.
Ted thinks he's in. Let's see what the official says. They're going to say just shy of the goal line, Ted.
Wow.
Inches short.
And here comes the jumbo package now.
The big fellas.
You see Owen Bright in the backfield with Ryland Cook and Micah Coyle. And then, yeah, Cooper Rayco, an extra tight end here on the left side.
Quarterback keeps it. Tyler Cherry.
He's in.
Now he's in for the score. His third rushing touchdown of the season. And the Center Grove Trojans strike first on the opening drive. Cherry 1 yard out.
Very impressive drive. Obviously they got great field position getting it at the 35, but the first play, Coyle moved it down the field about 27 yards. So excellent job by Center Grove, both passing and rushing the football, but looked very, very dominant here tonight.
That looks like a Center Grove drive of old. 1 pass on that drive. The rest of them were all runs, and Center Grove strikes first.
Rayco with the long snap. Coy puts it down. Nolan Foley puts it through, and it's 7-0 Trojans. 7 minutes, 34 seconds left to play first quarter. And Ted, you're right. That opening play by Coyle going 27 yards, that kind of sends a statement pretty strong right off the bat to this Lawrence North defense.
Yeah, it kind of set the tone, I felt. Obviously you got great field position, but also it says a lot about your offensive line, about your running back, what he can do in space, and just a very impressive drive. I mean, Cherry finding the guy over the middle on the pass play, move the chains. I always talk about move the chains, move down the field. But very, very impressive first possession by Center Grove, and let's see what their defense can do with the football.
Tonight's opening quarter being presented by Tiffany McClurg, Realtor of Century 21 Sheets, and by Merrill Financial Advisor Eric McClurg. And our first half replays being presented by Reese Restoration. (7-0) Trojans lead Lawrence North. Center Grove trying to make it 35 straight wins against teams here in the state of Indiana. Trying to go 25-0 against the MIC. That dates back to 2020, all the way through this season. Trying to go 3 straight seasons with wins against all the MIC schools.
Now we'll see Center Grove's version of the pooch kick, more than likely.
Looking at the flag, not much wind at the moment. He'll pop it up to his side of the field. Nobody's there. Drops inside the 25. It's picked up off the bounce, and he gets it to the 31-yard line.
Dangerous play there by Lawrence North. That could have turned out disastrous. He got lucky. That actually bounced pretty high for him to come up and get the ball. If that takes a side bounce or anything like that, Center Grove's got a chance to get on that. That's, when Coach Moore talks about pooch punts, or pooch kicks, that's perfect in his book right there.
DeMario Moore gets it to the 31-yard line for Lawrence North. 7:31 on the clock. Quarterback Montez Jones. Some pretty good numbers on the season.
35.
That's Richardson right there off the bat, and Lawrence North will take that all day. 6-7 yards on first down. Obviously, Lawrence North would be perfectly happy to get that on every play and continue to run the ball and let this clock run.
6 yards for Richardson. He's got 572 yards rushing on the season. And now Montez Jones goes underneath to Israel Jackson. Did he make the catch or not?
I couldn't tell. It looked like
They're going to say he made the catch.
Then he went backwards.
Forward progress will give him the first down. They're going to spot it at the 41-yard line. So 4 yards for Jackson.
And he juggled it and then went backwards a little bit. But, yeah, he still had enough for a first down.
Montez Jones, 1,006 yards passing, 60% on his completions, averaging 144 yards per game, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He also can run the football, 51 carries, nearly 300 yards rushing with 5 rushing touchdowns. New set of downs here for the Wildcats from their own 41-yard line. 6:30 to play first quarter. Number 10, that's Israel Jackson down the sideline, great speed, and the Trojans get him out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Reese was able to get him out at the 24.
Great speed there, and they blocked that well. It looked like Center Grove. You see it right here. It looks like they're in decent position, but then a little bit of a dive and a missed attempt there, and then Jackson scoots through that hole, and he's kind of off to the races there. Reese keeps it from a touchdown.
35 yards, football at the 24, I should say. Lawrence North, they're in business. Again, they've played really well the last couple of weeks. Lost at Ben Davis 2 weeks ago in a very competitive game and beat Warren Central on the road last week, and there's a big hit.
That was a collision, gentlemen. Owen Bright and Richardson there, and they say low man wins, and as low as Bright tried to get, Richardson was, you'll see it here, just a little bit lower. Here comes Bright, boom. But then Richardson gets another couple yards there because he was a little bit lower, his pad level anyway, than Bright was. But still a good job on first down by Center Grove.
1 yard, second down and 9. 5:50 to play first quarter. Wildcats on the move. Montez Jones pass incomplete, threw it behind his receiver. Still looking for, look like that's number 11, intended receiver for the Wildcats. Wearing number 11 tonight is Davion Chandler. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, he was open. I mean, you see it here.
Yeah, pretty small window, but he was open.
But he's also in the middle of 5 guys, so, I mean, if he catches that ball, he's going to get popped, but he's going to be real close to a first down if he does catch it. Now it's 3rd and long.
Football at the Center Grove 23-yard line. 5:42 on the clock, opening quarter. Oh, goes through his hands. It's loose. Center Grove, I believe, recovered. Scramble for the football. 48 comes up with it for the Center Grove Trojans. That is Caden McConnell. And not a horrible snap, but it just had a lot on it, and it goes right through his hands. Had some zip on it.
A little high,
but I think it also just came back fast.
Yeah, you had Neff in the backfield. You had Johnson there, and then Caden McConnell's the one that comes up with it. But a big turnover after Lawrence North had done a really effective job of driving down the field there. They get inside the 25-yard line and a big turnover on 3rd down.
Yeah, big momentum swing right here.
I think that's been the bugaboo for Lawrence North. They just had these turnovers at inopportune times, and now Coyle gets to the perimeter. He's tripped up as he comes across the 35-yard line. He's going to be spotted at the 36. 4 yards for Coyle.
Once again, he bounces it to the outside and gets good yardage, about 4 on first down.
Take that every time, right,
Rick?
Rick?
And what you're going to get here is exactly what Ted called last week. You're going to get one of those Tyler Cherry play-action fakes, and somebody from the wingback position named Grant Baldwin or Noah Coy is going to be streaking down the field wide open.
Yeah, once they get up to about the 50-yard line, they pick up a first down in that area. That's when he really likes the opportunity to do that.
Coyle dives close to a first down. There's a flag at the 41-yard line. He's going to be a yard short of the first down.
And that was well down the field, too, where they threw that flag.
Holding against the Center Grove Trojans.
The number 79.
Kevin, you're looking. He's talking about the rookie tackle for the Colts last night that got 3 in the first quarter.
Oh, boy.
So with the penalty, the football at the 31. 2nd and 11, Cherry. Clean pockets. Overshoots Noah Coy. He was open, just threw it too high.
Well, and you had Baldwin in the same vicinity there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that kind of affected Cherry's throw there. You see it here. Baldwin out of the slot. He ends up right there within a yard of Coy. I don't think that's where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, somebody's messed up there because you just definitely don't want two guys in the same place.
4 wide receivers set for the Trojans on 3rd and 11. Cherry with time. Goes underneath to Grant Baldwin for the completed pass and the first down. He's out of bounds, just shy of the 50.
Well, that's a great route there and a great pass design. You see Noah Coy down on the bottom of the screen. He clears out basically, and then all you have there is a slot back going against a linebacker, and Cherry delivers it perfectly. Baldwin catches it first and then gets upfield for a huge first down on 3rd and long.
17 yards for the Trojans. New set of downs at the Center Grove 48-yard line. 4:20 on the clock. We're in the first quarter. Here comes Noah Coy. We've seen Noah last week line up at wingback a few times. That's the second time we've seen him at wingback tonight. This is the first time we've seen him get a handoff, and he does very, very well. He's close to another Trojan first down. Take it down at the 44.
Obviously, the defense they're looking for number 12 or number 1 basically on running plays, and all of a sudden you sneak in Coy right there, and good opportunity picking up 8 yards.
2nd down and 2. Center Grove might take a shot here on 2nd down and 2. Play action.
There it is.
Going down that right sideline and letting too much.
Yeah, Lawrence North didn't bite.
Looking for Owen Wright. 3rd and 2.
And what I like about that is he just overshot him and out of bounds. I mean, live to play another day. You're still 3rd and 2 now. And, I mean, Wright didn't get any separation over there. Like you said, Lawrence North had that played perfectly. So you make a try for it, but you don't throw into triple coverage a la, speaking of the Colts, Matt Ryan. You live for another day, and now it's 3rd and 2 Center Grove. And it's probably a situation, if it's 4th and short, they're going to go for it on Lawrence North side of the field.
Lock down to 6, 5.
Thomason with Coyle leading the way on the block, and he breaks some arm tackles inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. 10 yards for Thomason, first down Trojans.
And that's just powerful running there. Nice job. I mean, he gets hit right there at the first down marker and then breaks another tackle there later. So impressive
so about
run.
Yards after contact. Very impressive.
Yeah, that was a great run. I mean, to think that guy wasn't even with the running backs to start the year, and to see how far he has come, and he just continues to get better every night.
1st and 10, 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Micah Coyle bounces it to the outside, 25-20.
Flag.
Tackled at the 15. There's a flag at the end of the run as well, so 2 flags on the play.
Well, I hope they're offsetting, because the one back here would move Center Grove back 20 or 10 yards. Yeah, I think the other one was a face mask is what I think I saw.
We'll get the call from the official. Holding against the Center Grove Trojans. That is declined. That's probably the one down the field. So 2 holding calls against the Trojans. They'll take the one here, obviously, around that 33-yard line.
Well, you can't continue to have those. That's 2 holding penalties. You were lucky enough to overcome that, but I mean, those are difficult ones to overcome, and you got to do a better job of keeping those hands inside. Obviously, the guy in the middle is looking for that. That's the second time he's thrown one in this drive alone.
Football at the Lawrence North 43-yard line. 2:57 in the first quarter. Center Grove 7, Lawrence North 0. Trojans scoring on a Tyler Cherry 1-yard touchdown run, opening possession. Lawrence North, their possession ended in a fumble recovered by the Trojans. Screen pass to the tight end, number 47, T.J. Williams.
Rumbling, stumbling down the...
Well done by the sophomore.
And what was well done was that initial cut after he catches it. He tries to go to the outside. You'll see it here. Right there, the guy's there, but boom, one cut inside, and then he's got blocking downfield, and a really good job of running, and then you pick up a good 15, 16 yards there on first down.
Like the play. I mean, they faked the screen pass right, came back left, get your tight end with the football, and did an excellent job with it.
15 yards for T.J. Williams. That makes it 2nd down and 4 back to Thomason. He gets it just short of the 25-yard line. Could be a yard or so short of the first down.
Could bring up 3rd and 1.
It's like a long 1 yard.
Yeah, short yardage again, probably 4-down territory or a little bit outside of Foley's range probably.
Gets a couple of yards. They'll spot it at the 26. Got to get it to the other side of the 25. So, again, a long 1 yard here on 3rd and a long 1 yard for the Trojans. Thomason, he cuts it back inside for the first down. He's down to the 20-yard line. 6 yards for Thomason. And the Trojans keep the drive alive.
Yeah, that time just out behind the left side of that offensive line. Ball State commit Charlie Gardner, 3-year starter Austin Weesey, and you see Gardner kicking out the defensive end. Weesey takes the D tackle and puts him inside, and that's where the hole is, and Thomason gets 6 and a first down.
1:20 left to play first quarter. Center Grove knocking on the door for a second time tonight. Screen pass to Coyle, and Lawrence North read that one extremely well.
Big play.
21 out there to make the tackle for the Lawrence North Wildcats. That's Dayon Lunsford, sophomore defensive back.
Yeah, they played that well. There was 3 guys out there for Lawrence North. Not much room for Coyle to go, and he loses yardage.
Lost 3 yards on the play. We're inside a minute, 55 seconds to play in this opening quarter. Cherry fakes the handoff to Coyle. Stands tall in the pocket, looking across the middle for Grant Baldwin.
Baldwin quit running his route. I mean, that's exactly where he was running. He just stopped his route in the middle of the field. And I mean, you'll see it here. Baldwin in the middle of the field, that's the direction he's going. Oh, he got bumped. That's why he couldn't go anywhere. He got bumped.
Carter McKinstry gave him a nice chuck.
Yeah, it's not legal. 10 yards down the field.
Brings up 3rd and 13 for CG. At the Lawrence North 23-yard line. Delayed handoff to Jalen Thomason. Good job by the Lawrence North Wildcat defense. Not fooled. He's tackled at the 20. Gets 3 yards.
Well, that's a 37-yarder for Foley. He's going to get a chance to think about it because that'll be the end of the first quarter. Center Grove will think about it over on the sidelines.
Clock continues to roll. Down to 10 seconds here in this first quarter. Again, Center Grove scoring a touchdown on its opening drive. Tyler Cherry from 1 yard out. Lawrence North on its offensive drive here in the first quarter ended on a fumble recovered by McConnell. Now the Trojans will have the football to begin things here in the second quarter at Lawrence North tonight. Center Grove trying to make it 35 straight wins against schools here in the state of Indiana. Tonight's game being presented by IU Health. This is Trojan Football.
Pointer, the company you know as the experts in metal, offers commercial and residential signage, custom handrails, kitchen hoods, fire pits, metal panels, and more. No project is too big or small for our team. Let Pointer manage your next project relating to all things metals by calling 317-893-1193 or visit pointersheetmetal.com for more information. Pointer is proud to support the Center Grove community and surrounding areas.
We're ready for the second quarter here at Lawrence North High School. Center Grove faced with 4th and 11. We do see Nolan Foley out there ready to attempt a field goal for the Center Grove Trojans.
39 looks like. That's where they're marking. It's on the 29.
39-yard attempt here for Foley. Rico, long snapper, Coy, the holder. From the right hash. Good snap, hold, kick, and it is good. And the Trojans lead at 10-0. And I'm telling you, that's solid. It's a cold night. It's close to tournament time. You got to execute on these field goals, and Foley does his job.
Yeah, that might be the difference between you winning a state title and not winning a state title. Because once you get to playing the better teams in the state, I mean, obviously the score, you're not going to score as many points, and all of a sudden field goals become very, very important.
Trojans lead it 10-0 with 11:54 left to play. We're in the second quarter, and tonight's game being presented in part by Tiffany McClurg, Realtor of Century 21 Sheets, proud to support Center Grove Trojan football. Tiffany McClurg is your go-to realtor. Contact Tiffany McClurg at 317-607-3880 of Century 21 Sheets. And Ted, we had the 7th and 8th grade football games this past Tuesday at Ray Skillman Stadium, and Drake McClurg, boy, was he impressive. He did not disappoint. He is incredibly fast and incredibly athletic. I'm sure you're not surprised.
Not surprised, and he's as good a football player he is. I hear he's a better baseball player. So
I've heard that too.
Yeah, he's going to have
switch hitter.
He's going to have a lot of options. Heck, I've heard that the Indiana coach, baseball coach, already offered him.
Wow.
As an 8th grader. So anyway, yeah, he's a great athlete.
We'll get to see him next year, either freshman, JV, or possibly even
varsity.
Some minutes on the varsity level, I'm sure.
But what a night of football this past Tuesday at Ray Skillman Stadium. 7th grade game went to double overtime. Central won in double overtime. Central won the 8th grade contest. Good return for the Lawrence North Wildcats. 19 for the Wildcats. DeMario Moore, sophomore, giving the Cats great field position. This is their second drive of the night.
Yeah, and that's a kick that if it's about 3 or 4 yards shorter, it is perfect right there. A good job by Lawrence North back guy of just catching that at full speed, and you're right, it was a good return for him.
Tonight, our second quarter being presented by Pointer Sheet Metal and by Ella's Frozen Yogurt and Candy Store.
Yeah, we need to give a shout out, Kevin, a couple Center Grove athletes that had some surgeries this past week. One from the football team, Gavin Oakes, had his surgery this week, so speedy recovery for that young man. And then soccer player Kevin Maddie Kramer, correct? She had her surgery as well. And I mean, that's someone right there that's a fantastic sprinter for that track team, and Coach Dotson hoping he gets her back by the spring.
Richardson 3 yards on that last carry. This time he stumbles as he comes to the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard.
Well, third and 7.
No gain. No gain.
Long 7.
No gain.
Well, you know that quarterback likes to stand up and throw that little in pattern. If I'm a linebacker, I'm kind of sitting right there waiting for him to throw it.
And if I'm a lineman and can't get any penetration, I got to get my hands up, try to knock that down.
Yeah.
3rd and 7. Jones gets away, but cannot get away from the second level. He missed the first guy, Owen Bright, but boy, Center Grove was all over him. Nate Johnson in on the stop, and now there's a flag after the play, and another flag. 2 flags on the play. At least I think I saw 2 flags fly. Again, make the tackle, get up, get back to your side of the field. We'll see. Maybe Center Grove's okay. We'll see. But it's going to be 4th and long at the moment. But first, let's see what this penalty or penalties are all about. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Center Grove and against Lawrence North, offsetting. Again, we saw this against Ben Davis in the second half. Coach didn't like it. I know he doesn't like this either.
Well, it's 4th down, and they got their regular offense on the field. Now, that might be a
unless they think are they going to do the play over?
Pooch, it's not. It's after
the play.
It's not during the play.
So they need to make sure that they're calling for 4th down. So it is 4th down.
Yeah, Moore is over there going, what's going on here?
But didn't he put up 4th down? I thought the official indicated 4th down.
I don't know.
So it should be 4th and
9,
7, 4th and 8, something like that.
8 or 9 yards.
Yeah, but he had his regular offense in there, which, I mean, Jones does have 2 punts on the year, Kevin, so probably a couple push punts, actually averaging 39 yards. But, yeah, the regular punter, Hargrove, is
really
averaging 43.5. 11 out of his 18 inside the 20-yard line, so he's got quite the cannon. So, yeah, obviously I think they're just verifying that it is still 4th down.
It looks like the down marker says 4th down across the way.
It says 4th down. Scoreboard says 4th
scoreboard
down.
says it, so it's 4th down.
4th and 8. Timeout called by Coach Moore of Center Grove. 10:28 on the clock. We're in the second quarter. Center Grove in front, 10-0. And now we'll see 29,
Hargrove.
Andrew Hargrove. And again, yes, Rick, very impressive. 43.5 yards per punt.
Well, and this is a situation, yeah, you see now Coy going back there with Thomas, and those guys need to, they're not used to going back with the big-time punter, so you need to make sure that ball doesn't get over your head.
Coach Mallory's son, Cale Mallory, is a long snapper. Wow, good hang time. Fair catch by Coy. He drops the football, but it appeared to be recovered by the Center Grove Trojans. Andrew Merritt, Sr., was able to recover it. Good hang time, made it difficult, and he's throwing a little bit of wind.
Yeah, that was an impressive punt right there. I mean, that had a lot of hang time, and Center Grove mishandled that football. Very, very fortunate to come away with it.
Yeah, good job by Merritt of being on the spot there. Yeah, that ball was dancing a little bit, and I think Coy didn't see it too clearly, but Center Grove lucky to hop on top of that.
Sticking with the ground game, here comes Coyle, lowers the shoulder. Finding some good yards here off the edge to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, that time behind the right side of the offensive line, Luke McDaniel, John Lyon, a pair of seniors, and Coyle picks up 3 to 4 on first down.
4 yards. We're inside 10 minutes to play, second quarter. Shotgun formation. Play action, quick pass, complete. Baldwin had a great game last week, and nice catch and good yards after catch. He gets it across the 45 to the 46 for a first down.
Yeah, that was an excellent run once he's able to catch the football. Lawrence North has some really good athletes out there. I mean, they've really settled in defensively and making it very difficult for Center Grove to move the football.
10 yards for Grant Baldwin on 1st and 10. Here comes Thomason with some great lead blockers. He accelerates to the edge, diving to the 40.
Well, and along with, Ted's comment right there, what Lawrence North is trying to do is make Center Grove drive the ball, 70, 80 yards and take 10 or 15 plays, because we talk about all the time how difficult it is for a high school football team to go 80 yards without any turnovers, without any penalties, anything like that. And they're making Center Grove do that, and credit to them.
16 yards for Thomason. Man in motion is Noah Coy. Some movement.
I think that was number 4.
Movement by the Wildcats, 5-yard penalty. Tonight's game being presented in part by Merrill Financial Advisor Eric McClurg, working with individuals and business owners with a focus on helping them achieve their personal financial goals. To set an appointment, call Eric McClurg at 317-954-5408.
Yeah, usually when that man in motion, once he clears the quarterback, boom, they snap it right away. That time Cherry, rather than snapping it right away, he held on to it, and the defense, they had her all timed up, and they were offside.
Football at the Wildcat 33, 8:37 to play. We're in the second quarter. Coyle up the middle, now out to the outside, looking for the end zone to the 5. Touchdown, Micah Coyle. 33 yards.
No flags.
Man, and he hit that one. A good snap. a quick handoff to Coyle, and man, once he gets in that linebacker position, makes the safety miss. We talk about it every week. That speed that young man has, it's deceptive. You look at him and think, it's a 5'9" kid. How fast could he be? Well, remember that's a state top 5 200-meter guy there in the backfield, and when he gets out in the open, it's turn the lights out.
11 touchdowns for Micah Coyle this season. He's looking to go over 1,000 yards on the season here tonight.
And he's got football speed. I mean, I say that because excuse me. Sometimes people, you put the pads on there, aren't as fast. But on the football field, I mean, he runs away from people. People do not catch him. He continues to run away from them, and he's been very, very impressive this year.
I think about, Ted, when you bring that up, those guys that, run 4.2 at the combine in there, as a couple coaches call it, their skivvies. And, Cincinnati the Bengals drafted a kid a couple years ago, John Ross, and I think that kid caught 5 passes in 3 years in the NFL, and that's exactly to your point right there. I mean, it doesn't matter how fast the kid is, if he can use it on the football field, and Coyle is a good example of being able to do that.
Yeah, when he gets the football, I mean, and obviously Rick has watched him on the track and on the football, but Rick just kind of smiles when he gets in the open because he just knows nobody's going to catch him, and nobody's caught him this year, and he's been very, very impressive, and he's very fast.
I mean, you see guys that it looks like they got angles, but they don't have angles to catch him when he gets through those holes right there. If you're 4 or 5 yards away, that angle's not going to work.
So the Trojans, couple of touchdowns tonight. Cherry, 1-yard touchdown. Coyle now a 33-yard touchdown. And, of course, Foley with the 39-yard field goal. Center Grove in front, 17-0. And now the Trojans try an onside kick, and the Trojans recover. Foley recovered his own onside kick. How about that? A little trickery by Coach Moore. I love it.
Man, and they completely fooled. You'll see the replay here. I mean, look at Lawrence North's guys. I mean, they're going back 5 yards, and boom, they wait the 10 yards, and then Foley gets on top of it. So, a great call there by a special teams coach for Center Grove.
Yeah, the one Lawrence North coach down here kept saying that they touched it before it got past 10 yards, but you could see clearly on the replay that he did a nice job of waiting until it cleared the 10 yards, and then he.
Well, it's one of those things. If they only have 2 guys on up front, you can have 2 of your guys shield them.
Here comes Thomason, wrapped up as he gets inside the 35. Jalen Thomason was 1 tackle away from going to the house.
Well, and now you kind of, one of those things, man, you can kind of put the foot to the pedal here and can really bury somebody early if you're able to tack on another touchdown. Then then you start seeing heads go down on the other side, and they look at the scoreboard and down.
The interest level really goes down with this if they're able to get this in the end zone.
Thomason,
big holes
inside the 20. Another first down for Center Grove. Center Grove getting
big chunks right now.
Big chunks, that's right, Ted. Big chunks. They'll spot it at the 20 at 11 yards for Thomason. 7:53 to play. We're in the second quarter. Center Grove in front 17-0, and the Trojans are looking for more.
Well, and this offense has been on the field, so their defense has obviously been on the field for the majority of this half, and you start to wonder if they're wearing down.
Micah Coyle, Center Grove offensive line, pushing him inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Maybe it'll be more closer to the 14-yard line.
I mean, that case in point right there, that looks like a 2 or 3 yard gain, and then you look up, and all of a sudden he got 6, almost 7 yards on first down, just following those guys and getting a little push at the end, and you're 13 yards now away from pay dirt.
It is at the 13, so 7 yards. Second down at 5. 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Coyle tackled after he picks up the first down. He's to the 8-yard line. 5 yards for Coyle.
First down, first and goal.
Trojans really good tonight, not only outside but also between tackles. First and goal at the 8-yard line. Coyle sprints it outside, down the sideline, untouched, 8-yard touchdown.
He's going to call a flag out on that wide receiver, and I don't know about that at all.
At the between the 4 and 3 yard line. Let's watch the replay by Reese Restoration.
I mean, let's see if the wide receiver out there, that's the only guy. I mean, Gardner's getting pulled by. He's getting grabbed at the shoulder pad by the defensive guy.
I didn't see it.
Third holding penalty on Center Grove in this first half.
Yeah, the important thing there is, like Rick said, early in the game. He says, that's our second or third back when it happened holding penalty. So you obviously got a crew here that's going to call hold. So you really have to be careful in that situation.
At the 14, first and goal from the 14. Thomason taken down just shy of the 10-yard line.
Well, I'm back to the 11. I'm gonna call that same play that Coyle walked into the end zone on the left side because he was untouched, and before that holding penalty brought him back.
The middle of the field, downfield, is very wide open too. I mean, if you cut somebody into the middle.
From the 12, second and goal, looking for Coy, touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown Trojans, 12-yard touchdown strike to Noah Coy.
And that's a move right there by Coy. We'll see it right here. He makes one move to the inside. The DB completely bites on it, and he's wide open. Watch this. Boom. Cherry hits him on the break.
In time. Perfect timing.
Easy pitch and catch.
Yeah, very, very good. Coy is such a good route runner. I mean, when I watch him play, I think of the guy for the Rams,
Cooper Kupp,
who just you play those guys, and the guy has 8 receptions, 9 receptions. And you think, who the heck? Why can't they guard that guy? It's not like he's running away from him, but when you're a great route runner, I mean, the quarterback's going to look for you. He knows where you're supposed to be, and that's where you are.
Foley puts it through to make it 24-0 with 5:48 to go first down.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ted. Yeah, you look at that, and I watch when I cheer against the Rams. I'm like, why can't you put 2 guys on him, or why? I don't understand how this guy's getting wide open all the time. Like, you say the same thing about Jerry Rice. I mean, a guy that he doesn't have, he probably ran a 4.5 or something at the combine if they even had that back in the day with him, and it was just a great route runner, and that just makes all the difference.
Our first half replay is being presented tonight by Reese Restoration. Reese Restoration specializes in commercial and residential services. For a free estimate, call Reese Restoration at 317-954-5408 or online at reeserestorationindy.net.
Be interesting to see how Lawrence North goes about things now. I mean, that was a huge 7 points right there, taking them from 17 to 24. All of a sudden, you look up there and think it's not even halftime. There's almost 6 minutes left, and they've already got 24 points on us. So, be interesting to see. We talked about Coach Mallory's team. They're tough. They're hard to play against. It's difficult when you're down 24-0. And it's going to be a very, very long night. This is when it's important for your coaching staff. It's important for the team leaders to really get your daubers up and start, finish the game out.
Well, and here's what happened now with that onside kick last time. I said they only had 2 guys up there. Well, now you see 4 guys around that ball. So immediately you bring. Just by having that one time you're successful, Lawrence North's going to bring 2 more guys up here, and then you get more options to pooch kick it whichever side that you want to, and hopefully pin Lawrence North deep.
So going back to the onside kick by Foley, obviously we haven't seen that all season long, but I just find it interesting. They do it the week before the Cathedral game, so now Cathedral's got to at least work. Yeah, it's on tape. They got to work on it this week and practice leading up to week 9 next week. Taken just inside the 20 at the 19.
Ooh.
Great tackle, great hit by the Center Grove Trojans. Punishing blow by the Trojans.
Well, he's not very big.
38.
I mean, he's fast. He's catching that ball on the dead run, and then you got Center Grove on the dead run going the other way. And
DeMario Moore, yeah, right, Ted. He's a sophomore, 5'7", 150.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not good things not going to happen when you're the 150-pound guy.
Well, and guess who made that tackle? One freshman, younger brother of Owen Bright, Lincoln Bright, was in on that tackle, and he's the one that popped him, number 38, freshman, on that kickoff team. Man.
Good run up the middle. Carrying some defenders, some tough yards. New running back for the Lawrence North Wildcats. That's not Richardson, that's Israel Jackson Jr. Junior running back, also a wide receiver. At the 34, 6 yards.
And obviously in a huge drive for Lawrence North to just try to get some kind of momentum going into halftime. They get the ball at the start of the second half, but, I mean, they just need something positive to happen here before halftime.
Richardson at the 36, gets a couple of yards. Third and a couple for the Wildcats. We're inside 5 minutes to play. Second quarter, back to Richardson. Nope, they're going to pitch it outside.
That's a hold.
There's a hold on the edge.
Block in the back.
A couple of flags. Take your pick. There's 2 flags. DeMario Moore, back to the sophomore, 5'7", 150 pounds. Takes the toss, gets outside. Let's watch it again. Faked it up the middle.
Well, and you'll see the penalty right there. Center Grove DB can't get away. He still makes the tackle. I think that was Watt, maybe. Yeah, number 4. But he had both hands tugging on the jersey.
So with a penalty, back to the 30-yard line with 4:47 on the clock here in the second quarter. Big thank you to Ella's Frozen Yogurt and Candy Shop for being one of our presenting sponsors here in quarter number 2. Ella's, again, voted best frozen yogurt in Indiana by the International Frozen Yogurt Association. Appreciate Ella Frozen Yogurt's support of the Center Grove football program.
We got to figure out how they're going to deliver us some, Kevin, come second quarter at our. We don't expect it over here at Lawrence North, but at Center Grove, maybe one of these games. I'll be happy to put in my order. Just as much Reese's as you can power up on there.
Oh, on the move. Do we have an interception? Nope, they're going to say hit the turf. Almost got the pick.
Soderdahl, I think.
Michael Soderdahl, the junior, almost got the INT. We'll watch the replay from Reese Restoration.
But a good job here, Ted. Look at that defensive line. 3-4 guys chasing him, and very difficult to throw against your body there in another incomplete pass.
Well, and also, I mean, how can there be 4 Center Grove guys chasing the quarterback and the lineman for Lawrence North not doing a very good job of blocking? And that's what I'm talking about. Be interesting to see how they handle this situation, with the score being what it is.
Hargrove in there to punt. Again, he's very good. Another high punts. Coy calls for a fair catch. They're going to let it go over their heads and let it roll. Interesting.
Yeah, well,
goes all the way to the 24-yard line.
I think that last attempt at fielding that probably scared both them and Center Grove coaching staff over there. So they got a little bit lucky. That ball kind of bounced and spun sideways instead of how it normally goes down the field there. So not too terrible field position for Center Grove.
That kid's got a leg.
That one goes for 46 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he can kick the football.
You're our punting expert, Kevin. I mean, you know a Division I guy, Division II guy when you see him. It's a pretty good kid there.
I would say he's definitely a D1. Got a D1 leg.
Now, he's got to be from Australia for you to punt in college anymore, I think. That's about 95% of the punters that I watch on Saturday do the little rugby-style punting. I mean, Purdue's got an Australian guy. IU's got an Australian guy. I forgot when the memo came out that nobody except a rugby-style punter can exist.
But in the pro ranks, it's still pretty much the traditional type punter.
Yep.
The pocket punter, not really rolling out too much. 1 yard, 2nd down and 9. Gets it to the 26, maybe 1 yard.
Well, good job on these 2 downs so far for Lawrence North. Hold Center Grove just a couple yards. Now we'll see on 3rd and 8 if Center Grove goes back to the air with Cherry.
Patrick Smith and Owen Wright here to the right side. A couple of receivers to the left. Cherry steps up in the pocket, gets some pressure, extends the play. 2 flags thrown as Cherry is tackled as he gets to the 25-yard line. Lost 1 yard.
Yeah, they're thrown down the field by about 5 yards, though. And, I mean, that's not where, unless they're going to call some. Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's usually a holding versus the DBs.
Yep, and that's what they called there.
Yeah.
Penalty against the Wildcats.
That's automatic first down, isn't it? Well, it's 10 yards. So
10 yards,
way,
and they had 9 to go. So.
Yep. Wow, that's a big penalty for them, too. They had pretty good pressure on Cherry. He had to scramble.
First down, Center Grove.
Yeah, I saw when it happened, too. It was Baldwin again. He was coming across the middle, and the kid just grabbed him and then let him go. But referee right there to call that penalty.
So with the penalty, football at the 35. First down for the Trojans. 2:30 to play. We're in the first half. 24-0 Trojans. Cherry's throwing. Across the middle, lets it go. Receiver hit hard. That's Noah Coy, wrapped up by number 9 with a nice wrap and tackle. That's Cameron Armstrong. He's a junior defensive back.
Yeah, that's a good play there by Armstrong. And now, Center Grove's still a little cautious. You don't want to give the ball back to Lawrence North here, but clock ticks towards 2 minutes, Kevin, and 2 timeouts left for Center Grove. So if they get another first down, then you probably start seeing a little bit more sense of urgency.
2nd down and 7 from the Trojan 38. Yeah, we have 1:50 to play first half. Micah Coyle running up the middle, first down. Got tripped up as he came across the 50. If he stays on his feet,
he's gone.
I think he hits the home run. Tripped up and take it down at the L end, 47-yard line.
Man, and look, Ted, I mean, there's not much in there. He just scoots between there, and then right there, I think he might even tripped on John Lyon's feet there. It looked like he was off to the races.
15 yards for Micah Coyle. 90 seconds left to play first half. Cherry throws it right to the first down marker. Is that Noah Coy going low and coming back to the football?
Center Grove's going to use a timeout because that was not enough for
first down.
Yeah, 2nd and short.
Half a yard short. It's about 9.5 yards, so the Trojans do take a timeout. Let's go to our Dan Gandolf Financial Services scoreboard and take a look at some scores. Some scores now going into halftime. Brownsburg leads Noblesville 28-14. That's in the second quarter in the HCC. Cathedral at home 21-7 leading Brebeuf. Again, the Trojans host the Irish next Friday in the regular season finale. Franklin Central at home trailing HSC in a conference game in the second period. Warren Central and Carmel tied at 6 apiece. That has now moved into halftime, and Warren Central, again, just kind of tough to figure out. 1 week they're good and 1 week they're not so good, but tonight they look to be a challenging Carmel. You got North Central leading Pike 14-7. That's at intermission. Avon at home against Zionsville. Looks like Avon with the lead there. Fishers and Westfield tied at 7 apiece. And Ben Davis losing at home to Lawrence Central 21-0. That's in the second quarter. Franklin leading Greenwood at halftime. And Roncalli trails Elder out of Cincinnati, Ohio 10-0. That's in the second quarter.
Man, really surprised. That LC Ben Davis game is basically for the MIC title this year with no Carmel, no Center Grove.
Oh, what a cut.
At
what
the
a
38,
cut.
Coyle.
Now hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage.
First down, so they'll stop the clock momentarily to move the chains.
Plenty of time, plenty of time.
Coyle gets it to where the 22-yard line.
Minute 8 now left. I know we don't have the clock up
16 yards for Coyle. Across the middle, complete to Noah Coy.
Nobody there.
And he's got some blockers. He goes right down the middle of the field for the touchdown. 22-yard touchdown pass to Coy.
Pick your guy. There's 3 guys in the middle of the field uncovered for Center Grove. They're blitzing. You see them blitzing, and there's Coy, there's Owen Wright, and there's T.J. Williams. I mean, all 3 of those guys are wide open in the middle of the field, and Coy was the beneficiary, and man, that wasn't easy.
I think the coaches up in the upstairs were able to see that they were kind of, rushing everything, and they just called that play right there. It was a nice delivery and an easy 6 points.
What yards was that? Was that 23?
22-yard touchdown for Coy. That's his second one tonight. Foley is good with the PAT kick.
Wow.
31-0
Trojans. 31-0.
Coy's got 2 receptions for touchdowns tonight. That one again goes for 22 yards.
I did not see this coming into this game, gentlemen. I thought, Lawrence North would really give a much better battle, and I really think, they battled pretty hard in that first quarter, but when Center Grove got that touchdown and then did the onside kick right after that, you could just see
air went out of the balloon for sure.
Yep. Eric Gladkowski of State Farm Insurance Agency is donating $5 to the Center Grove Education Foundation for each Center Grove made field goal and extra point kick in tonight's game. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, it's math lesson. 5. We got 5 of those, PATs and field goals.
How much money is that IU grad, Mr. Kitchell?
What are we talking about?
You didn't listen to the
$5 for every PAT kick made and field goal.
So that's $5.
$5 times 5 is?
I'm guessing 25.
that Cass County, Cass High School education.
I haven't had to do much math lately in my life.
I saw Ted get his phone out. He used the calculator.
No, where he has to get his math out is when he's on the golf course and he's counting. But Ted's a lot better golfer than either one of us. He usually doesn't have to count much higher than 4 or 5.
Taken from the 19-yard line. Center Grove's been very good on special teams tonight. Taken down at the 25-yard line. Center Grove was really good last week against Pike, so again, 2 weeks in a row, very good on coverage.
And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge, obviously starting next week against Cathedral, but then in the playoffs, like Ted said, a lot of times, you get into close games, and Center Groves they're going to have close games, unlike most of the games last year in the playoffs. That could come down to a made field goal or, how well you got to make sure you don't give up special teams touchdowns. And so you got to continue to improve on that.
52 seconds left to play first half, 31-0 Trojans. Pocket collapses.
Wow.
And he is sacked, and that sack was brought to you by your friends at Hudson Industrial Service, providing quality service for your boiler and mechanical needs since 1978. And there's another $5 for the Center Grove Education Foundation for that sack. Rick, who gets credit for that sack?
That was Mr. Nate Johnson there, was hanging on, and then Owen Bright kind of cleaned it up there.
He popped him pretty good.
Montez Jones, he loses a couple of yards. Jones this time goes right, sidesteps Owen Bright, rolls out of the pocket. He's across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was. And they just called it from the other side. That's the right play there. That guy was exactly watching that, Kevin. You and him might have been the only two in the whole facility watching. So we'll get you some striped shirt next week. But that gentleman was right on that. Good call by that official.
Burgers against the Wildcats. Pass beyond the line.
I don't know why didn't the quarterback just take the 2 or 3 yards he was going to get?
He saw 2 guys coming at him.
He got right to the end. And threw it away. What was he going to save himself? 2 yards?
So that's
wow,
loss of down and the 5 yards. I can't imagine they're going to do anything. Well, they're in shotgun. I kind of thought they'd just take a knee, but
football at the Lawrence North 20. 15 seconds on the clock. 3rd and 15. Richardson running the football, gets it across the 25, finally taken down at the 26, 27-yard line. Put it at the 27. gets 7 yards, and that will be your final play of the first half. Very impressive opening half for the Center Grove Trojans. They lead it here at intermission 31-0 at Lawrence North. Up next, our Ray Skillman Auto Group halftime show. Center Grove football being presented tonight by IU Health.
Have you ever felt the cold shock of water that's not hot enough? When Dad and Mom, little Sarah, and Peter all yelled, "What's happened to the water heater?" Mom knew the answer right away. Call Carter Plumbing for hot water today. The Prince of Plumbing and his magical powers will save the day and bring back hot showers.
Hot water today, or it's you we pay. Carter Plumbing will save the day. 859-9999. CartersMyPlumber.com.
Barn at Bayhorse Inn has been serving the Greenwood area as a unique event venue since 2016. Owner Amanda Johnson noticed that her property was the perfect setting for larger, memorable events and wanted to share it with the community. Barn at Bayhorse Inn provides 35 acres of outdoor space with seating for 300 people, a covered patio, outdoor ceremony space, a full-service bar, an on-site cabin that sleeps 8, wooded and seasonally landscaped areas for photos, and much more. Where rustic meets elegance is an event venue that surpasses all expectations. Give Barn at Bayhorse Inn a call today at 317-760-8778 for more information on booking your next event.
Thanks to you, Ray Skillman was just awarded GMC Dealer of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. We have hundreds of pre-owned vehicles to choose from and brand new vehicles arriving every day.
Are you looking to sell your vehicle? We'll give you a check on the spot in as little as 30 minutes.
Come check out the new GMCs on our lot before they disappear.
2 great locations, US 31 South and I-465 and East Washington Street, or RaySkillmanCars.com.
Welcome back to Lawrence North High School here at intermission. The Center Grove Trojans lead the Lawrence North Wildcats 31-0. This is the Ray Skillman Auto Group halftime show. Kevin Conrad with you, and now join us via the cell phone. We have the head coach of the Center Grove volleyball team, Jennifer Hawk. And Coach Hawk, first of all, thank you for taking time to join us here on this Friday night, and congratulations to you and your program. Johnson County champs, Coach. You got a nice win against Franklin. I know you lost the first 2 times to Franklin this year, but the 3rd time was a charm for your team. Tell us about this big win against Franklin in the county championship.
Yeah, it was a good redemption match for us. I think those first 2 losses to them really hit us hard, and we took it to heart knowing, it was a potential matchup again coming up in county. So the girls are pretty fired up and focused. They just didn't want to let it happen a 3rd time, and it was one of the best overall matches we've played. It was very clean, very limited errors. They just were really on a mission, and it paid off for them. And I was really proud of them and happy for them that it all worked out that way.
Coach, this past Monday, a special night of volleyball at the Vandy Gym. It was senior night. Your 4 seniors celebrated, and it was a tough match. You guys played Franklin Central. You looked great in the opening set, and then it had to go 5 sets, but you got it done, Coach. You got that win on senior night for your 4 seniors. Talk about this big win for your team.
Yeah, it was probably the most lopsided, weird set scores anyone's probably seen, being low teens and even 11 in one set we won, all the way up to 29-27 that we lost. It was a little crazy, but I think sometimes a lot of the emotions of senior night can sometimes get in the way a little bit. And I think that, it was a small part of it, but the ability to redeem themselves and kind of regroup and come back being down 1-2 to win those last 2 sets pretty solidly. We were we wanted to make sure we won it for the seniors. No one wants to lose on senior night. So we all kind of regrouped and got back in our rhythm, and it paid off. So it was a good ending.
I will say, Coach, right now you talk about rhythm. I feel like you guys are finding that rhythm. You're finding that groove, and that's a good thing because the state tournament begins Thursday. You'll go to Bloomington South. You'll take on Greenwood. But it seems like down the stretch, Coach, you guys are playing better, and that's a good time to be playing your best right down the stretch.
Yeah, with this, I mean, we started with a pretty young group, definitely young in sense of experience and in leadership roles, and as far as like who's scoring, and it's been just a learning curve. And just as time has gone on, I just kept telling them, just be patient. It will happen. The biggest thing you got to focus on is just continuing to improve each week. And as long as you see that happening, that's what matters. We have a tough schedule, so even, the matches we've been losing, we're competitive, and we still see progress, which is, all I could really ask for. And I keep emphasizing that with them, so it keeps them really positive and focused and not so caught up in wins and losses all the time.
Coach, tomorrow you got your final home match of the regular season. You're actually your final match of the regular season against a very good Yorktown team. I believe they're number 2 in the state. I know they're a highly ranked team, but just give us a thought or two about tomorrow's match.
Yorktown's a pretty established program and have been for a very long time. Very well coached and, high-level kids. But it's those matches we love to play because it's going to make you do your best, and it's going to show you where your flaws are. So it gives you that opportunity here in our very last match to find what we need to touch on, what we need to focus on and improve on. Then we come back next week. We've got 3 days to tidy up a few things before we get to play again. So I actually really love matches like this because it's going to give you the best indication of where you are and find those points that you've got to clean up.
Coach, the sectional looks a little different, actually a lot different this year. Going to Bloomington South, you got Bloomington North in the sectional. Of course, you're familiar with Greenwood, but then you throw in Martinsville and Mooresville. So a kind of a different look this year. Tell us a little bit about this sectional. It appears on paper maybe it's one of those sectionals that's pretty wide open. Anybody could win this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've played Bloomington South twice, actually. We've beat them twice so far this season. We beat Martinsville. I'm not super familiar. I mean, I've watched Mooresville, but we haven't played them. They're pretty scrappy, and they work hard. I don't know as much about Bloomington North than Greenwood I've seen, obviously, just through, being local and in our county. And, so I'm confident that, as long as we just play the way we have been lately and do what we can, we should, come out on top. But we just take one day at a time and, focus on us and continuing to improve like we've, been focused on this whole year. And it should all pan out for us.
All right, Center Grove head coach Jennifer Hawk, thanks for joining us here at halftime, Coach. All the best tomorrow in your final regular season match, but also in the sectional against Greenwood on Thursday. Get that win, Coach, and then I know the sectional semifinals and finals are on Saturday at Bloomington South. Sure love to see a lot of Trojan fans make that trip down there and support the Trojans. All the best, Coach, in the state tournament.
Thanks, Kevin, and we hope to see you guys down there too. It's quite a trip.
All righty, thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Take care. Coach Jennifer Hawk joined us here at halftime. Appreciate her time and her team playing a lot better down the stretch of the regular season as they get ready now for the sectional on Thursday. The Center Grove Trojans here at halftime at Lawrence North, leading the Lawrence North Wildcats 31-0. Scoring here in the first half, Tyler Cherry, 1-yard touchdown run. Nolan Foley got a 39-yard field goal. Micah Coyle, 33-yard touchdown run. Noah Coy, 2 touchdown receptions, 12 yards and 22 yards. Center Grove looking very good here against the Wildcats. Our Ray Skillman Auto Group halftime show will continue after this timeout. Tonight's game being presented by IU Health.
Ray Skillman was just awarded GMC Dealer of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. We have hundreds of pre-owned vehicles to choose from and brand new vehicles arriving every day.
Are you looking to sell your vehicle? We'll give you a check on the spot in as little as 30 minutes.
Come check out the new GMCs on our lot before they disappear.
2 great locations, US 31 South and I-465 and East Washington Street or RaySkillmanCars.com.
Candy, please.
Everyone want a free furnace? Here's one for you and you. Walk the plank, Chad. Here's some candy, kids.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim yours today.
Could I get one?
Sure thing. Whatever it takes.
This is the Ray Skillman Auto Group halftime show. Ray Skillman, where we stack them deep and sell them cheap. Kevin Conrad, Rick Embry, Ted Kitchell with you tonight from the northeast side of Indianapolis. Sun is now down and temperature's a little chilly out there. Rick, I saw you run outside for a bit. Never seen you run so fast.
Yeah, Grant tells me it's kind of chilly upstairs. He's questioning the Weather Channel app that says it's 52 degrees. Him and Sam both came in here with red noses and cold fingers and stuff. So I told him he's got a few minutes left in here, and then he needs to get back up there.
It's 50 degrees here at Lawrence North, and you throw in the wind. I'm sure it's a lot cooler than that, probably in the 40s. Appreciate Grant and Sam up top tonight doing a great job on the camera work for us. And how about the Trojans down the field, Ted? The Trojans so impressive. Again, we talked about their offense on the pregame show quite a bit. It's kind of a two-headed monster. I just don't know where you begin to defend it, this Trojan offense. The run is so good, the pass is so good, and the protection up front, the O-line, the run blocking also very, very impressive.
Yeah, I think if we think it's cold out here, it's probably really cold with Patrick and his football team at the Lawrence North locker room, because I would have never imagined against this football team, they're not the greatest football team, but they usually compete very, very hard, and a lot of times make it difficult on you to score, and you look up and it's 31-0. But like Kevin said, it's very difficult. This football team has taken advantage of every opportunity. They had a couple fumbles. We were able to get on both of those and then move it down the field for scoring drives. They've been very, very good. The running game has obviously been very good the last couple games, and tonight in the first half, it also very, very solid.
Well, and if you look at Kevin, I got some unofficial numbers from Mr. Bias, but I mean, you can see the domination yardage in the first half. Center Grove 322, Lawrence North 54. So, and you got Center Grove has already run for 228 yards in the first half, and then another 94 from Cherry in the passing game. Coyle at 137, Thomason at 82 already in the first half. So between those two guys, both of them, one's already at over 100, and Thomason's approaching that. So, the scoreboard says 31-0. Yardage says 322-54. So it just confirms what we've seen in the first 24 minutes.
So again, the scoring in this first half, Cherry on the opening drive scores from 1 yard out, his third touchdown of the season. Foley gets a 39-yard field goal here in the first half. How about Micah Coyle? Rick just talked about his great yardage here in the first half. I think he's approaching 1,000 yards now on the season. He had a 33-yard touchdown run, and Noah Coy had 2 receptions for touchdowns, 12 yards and 22 yards. So the Trojans again lead it 31-0 here at halftime. And we talked about the offense a lot. We got to give some definite props to the Center Grove defense. Again, playing exceptionally well. They got a shutout last week against the Pike Red Devils. The D-line played so well. I feel like the defense, once again, Ted, playing extremely well for the Trojans tonight.
Yeah, I mean, ever since that first half against Lawrence Central, I mean, this seems like a different football team. I think that, not only physically but mentally, they're into the game. They understand there's certain things they're taking away from the teams that they're playing, and really much more alert as far as everything around what's going on, able to stop get off the field, get their offense back on the field. So the defense has been very, very good and continues to improve each and every game.
And, Rick, I know we talk a lot about it, but the special teams play's been very good tonight. The Trojans are flying down the football field and making some really nice tackles here on special teams on the kickoff coverage.
Well, and you could arguably say, I mean, it's hard to say there's one big play in that first half when you're up 31 points, but, I mean, that onside kick was huge. Center Grove goes from 17-0 to 24-0 very quickly, and you could – more importantly, you could just kind of see the air go out of that Lawrence North team, and they really struggled that whole half.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dan Gandolf Financial Services scoreboard. A big night in high school football here in Central Indiana. Brownsburg, the number 1 team in 6A, at halftime leading the Noblesville Millers 28-14 in the HCC. Cathedral, that'll be Center Grove's opponent next Friday at Ray Skillman Stadium. They lead Rebuff 21-7. That's at intermission. Franklin Central at home being shut out by HSE in an HCC ball game. Also at halftime, Carmel and Warren Central tied at 6 apiece. North Central leads Pike 14-7. That's at intermission in a mid contest. Avon at home leads Zionsville 20-10. That's at intermission. Fishers against Westfield up by 3 at halftime. Ben Davis being shut out at halftime by Lawrence Central. Interesting score there.
That's a big surprise to me.
Greenwood at home taking on Johnson County rival Franklin. It's the Grizzly Cubs shutting out the Woodmen 20-0. That's now in the third quarter. And Roncalli at home tonight against Cincinnati Elder. Elder 17-0 leading the Royals. Center Grove back out. We also see Lawrence North back out here on the field as well, warming up for just a few minutes before we get this second half underway. And Rick, just a quick recap of some other Center Grove sports. It was great to have Coach Hawk from the volleyball team on, but tomorrow's also a big day for the boys and girls soccer teams. Girls soccer at 2 o'clock playing in the sectional championship at home against Terre Haute South. Center Grove's won a state record 23 sectional titles, going for number 24. We'll be there with a live stream at 2 o'clock, but this is a big opportunity for Coach Vaughn in his first year to get his first sectional title.
Yeah, this week they had a tough one in their initial matchup there against a team that kind of the co-favorite, number 8 Center Grove, number 9 Bloomington South, and Center Grove was able to get a goal in the second half to take that win 1-0, and then they kind of rolled last night. So yeah, on a big opportunity for that girls team, and they should be favored to win tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon against Terre Haute North.
Boys soccer taking on Bloomington South at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Martinsville in the boys sectional championship. So hopefully the soccer programs can get a couple of sectional titles tomorrow.
Well, and that's going to be a tough one for the boys. I mean, that's a team that I believe they tied earlier in the season 2-2, or they might have lost to them 2-0. I mean, Bloomington has only lost once all year, like 3 or 4 ties. But Center Grove's won 5 in a row going into that match tomorrow night, so we'll see if they can get that done.
Also tomorrow morning, the boys and girls cross-country teams will have the sectional meet at Franklin. They were just there for the county meet, and the boys took first. The girls placed third, but I know they have high expectations coming up tomorrow in the sectional.
Yeah, that boys team, I mean, last week when they played the county, they didn't run any of their top 7 kids, I think, and still won county, so they're extremely deep. They should be favored to roll in the sectional tomorrow. The girls team, a couple good teams, Franklin and Indian Creek beat them in county. We'll see if the girls can respond tomorrow.
Also tomorrow at noon at the Center Grove Tennis Center, the Center Grove boys tennis team hosting the Newcastle Trojans. So the Trojans versus the Trojans in the semi-state championship. The winner advances to the state quarterfinals next Friday at Center Grove at noon. And on paper, the Trojans are the heavy favorite, but hey, you got to play it, and it should be a great day of tennis tomorrow at noon. Great weather as well.
I mean, Center Grove has yet to give up a point in four postseason matches, 5-0 wins, 2 in sectional, 2 in regional. Like you said, they should be heavy favorites to win that semi-state tomorrow and advance to the state quarters, which would be next Friday night or next Friday afternoon at noon. We're hoping we can do that one before we do the Cathedral game. So, yeah, good luck to those guys as they try to be the second team from Center Grove to make it to the state after that girls golf team.
Also tomorrow, the Center Grove JV and freshman football teams will take on Lawrence North, the junior varsity team at Ray Skillman Stadium at 10 o'clock, and the freshman team will come up here to play Lawrence North at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're ready for the second half, so that concludes our Ray Skillman Auto Group halftime show. Ray Skillman, where we stack them deep and sell them cheap. Center Grove 31, Lawrence North 0. Foley, onside kick in the first half. I call that kind of an onside kick the Grammatica type onside kick, where you just kind of barely tap it and you chase it down yourself and you recover it.
Only thing he didn't do was jump up and blow out his ACL after he did that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I call Grammatica. Oh, my.
Fumble, still loose. It appeared the Wildcats got it. It was loose. Recovered at the 19 by the Wildcats.
Wow, that was almost disastrous for Lawrence North to just hand that ball to Center Grove, but they got on top of it, so they'll try to see if they can move the ball here at the start of the second half.
26 recovers for the Wildcats. Darren
It'll be
Miller.
interesting to see how they come out in the second half, Lawrence North. I mean, we saw Pike last week in the same situation. They came out and just basically laid an egg in the second half. They couldn't wait for that game to end, and we'll see if it's going to be the same type of thing for Lawrence North, or if they're going to try to compete, put some points on the board and make it watchable here in the second half.
Montez Jones in the gun. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1 running back in the backfield. He's got time. Rolls right, throws right. He has a man, and it's going to be caught at the 45. Is he in bounds? Yes, he is. Heck of a catch by number 13. That's Mario Lomax. He's a senior.
Just went long, and, Matthew Neff on the coverage, and he turned his head, but he turned it too late and then jumped and missed the ball whenever he jumped. So that's a great catch by that young man.
36 yards on the reception at the Trojan 45-yard line. Sidearm throw, complete. Some energy here from Lawrence North to begin the second half. That's Davion Chandler, sophomore, with the reception.
First down, LN.
Ted, how about that delivery? Came like almost sidearm or
Oh,
three
yeah,
quarters.
he's been watching the Mahomes.
That looked good. Oh, there's the Wildcat.
We've heard that a grand total of once in the first half, so they just equaled the number of times.
Football at the 34. 11 yards on that last completed pass, and now the quarterback takes off and taken down at the 33, gets a couple of yards.
Well, we kind of saw this. Their first drive of the first possession of the game, they drove the ball down there to the inside the 25-yard line, but then on 3rd and long, they snapped it over his head, and then they fumbled it, and Center Grove recovered, and after that, they didn't move the ball at all.
Jones hands it off to Richardson. Trojans pursuing from behind. They get him down after a good gain. He gets inside the 30 to the 28, 4 yards.
4th and 4.
Third. I think it's still third.
Yeah. Okay, 3rd and 4.
That's a good job there by Woolwine. He's the one that you said chased it from behind, 91. Sophomore defensive end there did a good job of not giving up on that, and he ended up making the tackle.
3rd and 4, the call for Coach Mallory. 10:20 to play. We're in the 3rd quarter. Once again, mishandled the snap, but he does pick it up. Makes a nice move. looking for the end zone, and it will be a touchdown. 28-yard touchdown run for the junior quarterback, Montez Jones. That's his 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
Made some good moves. He made Kyle Williams miss, and then a couple good blocks down the field, and that's a good response. Exactly what Coach Mallory, I'm sure, wanted to see out of his ball club at the start of the second half.
Something for the home side to cheer about. That was impressive by Jones. Ooh, not a very good snap. It was behind the holder, but he did a heck of a job to get it down, and they do put it through. That's Cale Mallory, Coach Mallory's son, doing the holding. Did a great job to get that one down, and Dempsey puts it through. And Lawrence North on the board with 7 points, 31-7. Trojans lead it with 10-12 to go here in the third.
Well, that was Jones's longest run of the year, Kevin. Previously, it was 26 yards, I believe. And how far was that one? 28 yards.
28 yards.
So a good job, like you said, a poor snap, but a lot of times those lead to those scramble plays that the defense kind of lets up, and then they got Jones. Jones got out in the open territory and made a couple guys miss. And
yeah, he's dangerous in the open field. I mean, he is quick-footed, and he would be hard to catch.
A little bit reminiscent of the Lawrence Central quarterback Luton, who kind of gave Center Grove fits on the ground with his legs in that first half at Center Grove.
Tonight's third quarter being presented in part by Morgan Insurance Group and IU Health.
Be aware up front.
Andrew Hargrove, he's going to boot this one deep all the way to the 2-yard line.
Ryland Cook
across the 25 to the 30-31-yard line.
Blocking
flag on the play at the 25. Nice return by Cook.
Doesn't matter. It's going to be inside the 20-yard line, blocking the back there. If it's from that flag, Center Grove's going to take over on their own 15-yard line.
Morgan Insurance Group, proud to support Trojan football. Morgan Insurance Group is committed to providing clients with the highest quality insurance services combined with the lowest rates in the area. Call Morgan Insurance Group at 317-889-1000 for a quote today. Football at the 15-yard line. Coy splits out to the left. Cherry hands it off to Micah Coyle. He's going to race it outside. He's to the 20, 25, and almost to the 30, just shy of the 30. First down, Trojans.
He just runs with what I would say reckless abandon. I mean, it's...
Where's the edge? Where's the defender on this play?
Well, he makes one move there, and, I mean, the defensive end kind of gets locked up a little bit with Luke McDaniel on the right side, and by that time, Coyle's by him and to the outside.
13 yards for Micah Coyle. Football at the Trojan 28-yard line, 9:30 to play. We're in the third quarter, and now Coyle goes up the middle. Seems like the Trojans are running at will on the edge, up the middle. This one gets to the 36-yard line. 8 yards.
Got to win it up front in the trenches, and then, like you said, those are some big holes. You don't run for 228 yards in the first half without that offensive line doing their job.
Once again, Coyle going outside. Better job by the Wildcats. Pushing him out of bounds. I don't think he got the first down.
A couple yards shy.
Looks like it'll be 3rd and 1 once they place the football.
3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. We'll see. Football at the 37. He got a yard. So it is 3rd and 1 for the Trojans. 9 minutes to play. We're in the third quarter, and Coyle up the middle gets some tough yards this time. Got 2 first down Trojans at the 39. Again, better job by this Wildcat defense.
Short pickup. Brought down.
Give them credit. I mean, Lawrence North, they've come out, they're playing hard. They did a nice job offensively, taking the football down the field, putting points on the board. And at this point in time, that's all that your coach can ask for. I mean, is to come out and just play as hard as you can for the remaining time on the clock.
Jalen Thomason, first carry of the second half, down the sideline, great speed, and he's going to go the distance for the touchdown. Wow. 61 yards.
61 yards right there.
Jalen Thomason. Watch it again. This is a thing of beauty.
Well, we talk about Coyle, how fast he is, but, I mean, right there, I mean, he showed some real speed running away from the defender.
I was thinking the same thing, Ted. He put on the Jets right there, and I mean, Coach Moore said he's probably our most talented kid on this football team, which is saying something. And you're right. He got around the edge and attempted to tackle it around the 20 and shook that one off, and he was off to the races. Center Grove responds quickly.
Foley puts it through, makes it 38-7 Trojans. Thomason, so impressive. Unbelievable speed down the sideline. 61 yards he covers with that touchdown run for the Trojans.
That puts him well over 100 yards.
So he's at 143, and Coyle's at over 150. So they're over 300 yards now rushing. I mean, we ran the ball every time, and we started it on the 15-yard line there. So 85 yards plus 228. They are over 300 yards on the night.
Thomason, 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. Once Wheat went down in week 1 with the injury, they moved him to running back in week 2. And he's been very, very impressive.
Well, now Thomason, Kevin, is over, he's approaching 700 yards on the ground for the year, in addition to Coyle being over 1,000 now. So that's a pretty good two-headed monster there.
$38-7, all Center Grove tonight. Center Grove during this streak trying to go to 25-0 against MIC teams, regular season and if you count the postseason, trying to get to 25-0. That goes all the way back to the 2020 season. To the 20, 25, taken down at the 29. Demario Moore, sophomore, with the return.
23 for Center Grove made that tackle. I think that might be Matthew Yoder, JV running back.
We'll see him tomorrow at Ray Skillman Stadium. Let's go ahead and preview tomorrow's game. Center Grove hosting Lawrence North at 10 o'clock at Ray Skillman Stadium, presented by Team Styles of Compass Realty. Rick and I'll be there with a live stream. We've enjoyed last year and this year calling the Center Grove home freshman and JV football games. We have JV tomorrow.
Be our last time to see the JV team tomorrow, Kevin.
On the home field, you're right. In 2 weeks, we'll have Center Grove freshman football at Middle School North against Cathedral, but you're right, for the JV team, their final home game of the regular season tomorrow.
Yeah, both those teams still undefeated, JV and freshman, and honestly, neither one have really been tested all year. So we'll see if Lawrence North can give either one of those teams a ball game tomorrow.
Football at the 30. Looked like he got about a yard on that last play. Jones throws on the run. Caught by 11. Davion Chandler, sophomore, gets it to the 41-yard line. First down, Lawrence North. 11 yards for the Wildcats.
First down, Wildcats, Davion Chandler.
Ted, so far, Lawrence North, they're having a heck of a second half.
Yeah, they're playing hard. That's the most important thing you look for as a coach. I mean, you just want your team to continue to compete and try to better themselves. Forget about the scoreboard and what's going on up there, and just concentrate on what you're trying to do.
Israel Jackson, Jr. Gets it just past the 45.
Second and 5.
Well, this is a team, Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, that'll be in the same sectional as Cathedral. Is that correct? And North Central? Those are the 4 that are in that sectional.
That's correct. Richardson tackled at the 45-yard line. No gain. Maybe lost a yard. Going to lose a yard.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job so far tonight on Richardson. A really good job, I should say. I mean, when they have gotten loose for runs, it's been number 10 who's got loose, and then obviously Jones on that touchdown run.
Ryder Woolwine, sophomore with the tackle. Also Nate Johnson got in there quickly as well. 3rd and 6 for the Wildcats. 6:19 to play. We're in the third quarter. Going to throw one out there. He's got a man. Makes the catch.
Montez Jones passes.
Montez Jones with the nice play to Mario Lomax.
Lomax inside the 20.
They're going to put it at the 18-yard line.
Man, that ball was laid out there perfectly, and a good job by the receiver of just keeping his eye on the ball and making a beautiful catch.
27 yards to Lomax. Lawrence North's offense really playing much better here in the second half.
Richardson on the carry down near the 15.
To the 15-yard line, 3 yards.
Elijah Chandler leading the stop. 2nd and 7.
Chandler gets credit for the tackle for the Center Grove Trojans. 2nd down and 6. 5:45 to play. We're in the third quarter. Jones steps up, scrambles, taken down.
Jones
Owen Bright, linebacker, takes him down at the 14, gets 1 yard.
He's hurt too.
Owen Bright on the stop. We have an injury timeout.
That's not the quarterback. Yeah, the quarterback's to his feet. Might be an offensive lineman. There's a player down for the Lawrence North Wildcats just inside the 15-yard line. 5:31 on the clock. We're in the third quarter, 38-7. Trojans lead it here at Lawrence North High School. Let's go to our Dan Gandolf Financial Services scoreboard. Game's now in the second half.
Wow.
You have Warren Central at home leading Carmel 13-6. That is a little bit of a surprise. North Central at home leading Pike 14-7. Also in the third quarter, Avon 20-10 over the Zionsville Eagles. Avon's still winless?
Yeah, they're trying to get their first win of the year.
Westfield leads Fishers on the road 14-10. That's in the third. Ben Davis at home being shut out by Lawrence Central 21-0. Greenwood at home trailing 34-6 in the fourth to Franklin. Roncalli down to Elder 17-9. That's at halftime. Lawrence North player needing some help here off the field.
66 maybe, Kellen. He might have twisted an ankle or a knee or something like that.
Marcus Jackson, junior, sophomore, offensive lineman, being helped to the sideline. Wildcats will have 3rd and 6. Football just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, you got to figure they're in 4-down territory here, down 31 points.
Jones puts the man in motion. The man in motion does not take the handoff. They fake it to him. Jones, the quarterback, keeps it. Gets to the 11, picks up 3. Still short of a first down, so it's going to be a 4th, and I would call it at least 3 yards.
And here comes Thomason in. You see him still getting about 10 to 15 plays a game
on the defense.
Fourth and 4, LN.
Looks like the ball's at the 11. They got to get it, to the 9, just past the 9? So it's like 4th and a couple.
I'd be surprised if this quarterback gives this up.
Probably a 4th and a long 2.
Yeah, he's going to run it.
He's going to try to run for the first down. Now he's going to throw it, and it's knocked down.
Reese.
Well done by Reese. It appeared he wanted to run the football. He really disguised it well.
I don't think he had any intentions of throwing that football until he saw 4 white jerseys in front of him, and he knew there was no place to go, so he just kind of threw it away. I'm sure there was probably offensive linemen downfield if you were really looking at it.
They called a hold, but even on that replay, you could see the offensive linemen were on about the 9-yard line, and that's should be down the field. But good job by Gage Reese knocking that one away. So Center Grove, Lawrence North, another good drive, but Center Grove was able to hold right there.
How about Lawrence Central? They're in the third quarter beating Ben Davis at Ben Davis. It's now 28-7.
Wow.
LC.
That might be, I shouldn't say might.
Is that for the conference championship?
Yeah, unless they don't beat North Central, I think, next week. They've only been in the MIC for 9 years, so they obviously, Center Grove and Carmel have kind of had a stranglehold on that MIC title, so that, I'm sure, is Lawrence Central's would be their first MIC title.
Micah Coyle gets a tough yard.
Well, right here is the situation where you get a guy like Micah Coyle, and he's going to break away. They're putting all their guys up in the box, and as soon as you break through, it's going to be a long run for Center Grove.
Cherry throwing. Completes at the 20-yard line, and now they're going to say incomplete pass. He dropped it.
Smith, I think, dropped it. Patrick Smith. He was right at the first down marker. Good route run, but defensive back came up and hit him right there, and he just didn't hang on to the ball.
Third and 9 for the Trojans. Clock is stopped with that incomplete pass at 3:56 in the third quarter.
See, I think I was surprised. It looks like he took a couple steps before that ball came out, and I don't know who recovered it or not. But
now they're going to change it. They're going to say he did make the reception. So they're going to say completed pass. Now they're going to spot the ball at the 20. So said what? Third and 9, and now it'll be third and about a yard to go.
Yep.
So 8 yards on the completed pass. Trying to get the yard for the first down. They hit Coyle as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Did he fall forward enough?
Nope.
I don't think he did.
We see Mr. Foley for the first time all night punting the ball.
He's short at the first down.
4th and 1.
Center Grove.
No gain. You're right. First punt of the night for the Center Grove
I didn't
Trojans.
see the punting team come on.
Maybe it's the jumbo package instead.
Lawrence North, they're going to use timeout because they got guys running on and running off.
So now a timeout called by Coach Mallory, and now Coach Moore could send out the punting unit. You just never know. Chess match. Next week, Center Grove returns home for the regular season finale, taking on the Cathedral Fighting Irish, Center Grove number 2, Cathedral number 3. Always a great matchup. I'm just glad we're home. We'll be inside.
Bingo. I was going to say, are we playing down at the Bantam Fields and you're going to turn on the sprinkler systems or anything like that starting about Wednesday, or we get to play on turf, real man football next Friday? I'm not bitter still from that whole experience and spending 3 hours underneath a god-awful tent or whatever you put together.
It kept us dry.
It did kept us dry in my neck. I had to go to the chiropractor for the next 6 months.
So back home next week. Here we go. It's going to be 4th and short. 4th and 1, jumbo package in for the Center Grove Trojans.
Do you think they're just going to try to draw them offside? They got 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. Lawrence North does.
Let's see. Sherry's going to snap it, and the Trojans get the 1 yard and then some. That's the thing about it. You get that push, you might get through and go for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was an opportunity right there. All that is preparing for postseason. I want to show my team that I have confidence that they can get a half a yard, and come in a couple weeks whenever that postseason starts, they better expect that I'm going to keep that offense on the field.
Lunsford made the tackle. Sophomore, new set of downs for the Trojans. Got 7 yards with Coyle on that last play. Now it's at the 27, but right back to Micah Coyle. He's to the 31-yard line, 4 yards.
Gardner on the stop for LN. Going to bring up 2nd and
How about Micah Coyle? What a phenomenal senior year. After tonight, he'll be over 1,000 yards rushing. Just a great final season for him.
Well, and that's a kid, and I was talking to Grant about it at halftime. When he first moved to Center Grove, and I believe it was his 4th or 5th grade, he was on my Bantam team. So I'm going to take full credit for the season that he's had tonight. But seriously, when that kid came, all I could think about was, man, he can fly, but he wanted no part of contact. I mean, he was a kid that we'd hand him the ball, and he'd immediately just start running to the outside. He wanted to get outside and outrun anybody. He did not want to get hit. He did not want to tackle anybody whenever he started in 4th or 5th grade at Center Grove. But, wow, has he come full circle in his 8 years of playing football.
That's surprising. 7 yards. Trojans get the first down. Here comes Micah Coyle. I would never guess that, as physical as he is as a runner now.
Well, and he had an older brother that was a fantastic wrestler a couple years ago that for Coach Hoover and his wrestling program when Coach Hoover was there. And I always thought, okay, he's going to follow in his brother's footsteps when he was little, because I knew his brother was a really good wrestler, but he just kept playing football, like I said, he runs with reckless abandon. It just runs hard.
2nd down and 8. 1 minute left to play in the third. Coyle being pressured and sacked.
LN pressure applied.
16 got him first. Caleb Beeler. He's a sophomore. Taken down at the 34-yard line. Loss of 7 yards.
3rd and 16.
3rd and 16 for the Trojans. Receivers in, it appears, for the Trojans. Maybe not. Just the one here to the left, Patrick Smith. Trojans going to run with Coyle. See what he can get here on 3rd and very long. He makes it interesting.
He got a lot.
He did. Hope he's okay. He's a little slow to get back to his feet. He's on his feet, but can he stay in? I think he might need to take a break.
Yeah, he got hit right in the chest, I think. So he's trying to get.
Catch his breath.
That's going to be the end of. I don't know why the clock is not running. He didn't go out of bounds, did he?
I think they said he may have gone out of bounds. Stops the clock with 21.5 here in the third, and it will be 4th and a couple. And now, Coach is bringing in Foley to punt for the first time tonight. I'm guessing with Coyle on the sideline. Maybe that's why you bring in the punt units.
He's got 3 on the play clock. Nobody back deep for.
Let that roll. Good punt by Foley.
Punt's going to be downed inside the 20. First down, LN.
Inside the 20 with 9 seconds left to play in the third. Center Grove leads at 38-7 here at Lawrence North. Spotted at the 12-yard line. Make that the 17-yard line, excuse me. Warren Central, Carmel now in the fourth quarter. Tied 13-13.
I would imagine that's probably the last possession you're going to see Center Grove starters on offense in. This is probably the last possession. Well, you see a couple new faces in there already on defense.
From the 17, Jones, the quarterback, keeps it.
Jones and the keeper
gets a few yards, and that will be your final play of the third quarter. All Center Grove tonight here at Lawrence North, leading the Wildcats 38-7. Fourth quarter up next. Tonight's game being presented by IU Health. This is Center Grove Trojan football.
Candy, please.
Everyone want a free furnace? Here's one for you and you. Walk the plank, Chad. Here's some candy, kids.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim yours today.
Could I get one? Sure thing. Whatever it takes.
Trojans with a commanding lead as we get ready for the fourth quarter here at Lawrence North High School. Kevin Conrad, Rick Embry, along with Ted Kitchell with you tonight.
Good quarter by Lawrence North. I mean, they scored 7, they gave up 7, but in comparison to what had been going on, they did a nice job there in the third quarter.
Offensively, they look a lot better. You're right, Ted. Across the middle on the slants. Pass complete. Davion Chandler, sophomore with the reception. Tackled at the 30.
There it is, right there. You know, I had the unfortunate privilege of going to watch a Purdue at Penn State game.
Oh, boy.
And, oh, my goodness, that god-awful Nittany Lion roar. They get a 2-yard gain, and here comes the stupid roar.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, there's only 110,000 people there, too, whenever at those games. So, oh, my goodness, that was – my head was ringing for a week. I also learned out there, I made the mistake of asking a gentleman behind me what a Nittany Lion was. Do you know what a Nittany Lion is, Ted?
No, I don't.
I asked him that, and he looked at me like I had 3 heads and said, "The Nittany Mountains are right behind us, buddy. That's where they're from." And I'm like, that still doesn't tell me what it is. Is it a mountain lion? Is it a cougar? What is it? They're right behind there in those mountains.
Nittany, the Nittany
Mountains.
The Nittany Mountains. There you go.
Are right there. So there you go. You learned something maybe tonight.
I might sleep a little better tonight knowing that. Third and a couple here for the Wildcats. 10:30 to play. We're in the fourth quarter. Jones, quick pass. Gets the first down. Davion Chandler. He's been in one of his top targets tonight.
Yeah, that's one of those situations, if they are going to do, you start to see a lot of subs in there for Center Grove. But one of those situations that if you're not going to get to him when he only does that 3-yard drop or whatever, then you got to get your hands up as a defensive lineman.
New set of downs for the Wildcats with 10:10 to play. Airing this one out. He's got a man. Wow, he made the catch. Israel Jackson.
I mean, at this point,
15-yard line.
they should be doing that every time because those guys have made 3 catches. That's not terrible defense by Center Grove. He's right there. The only thing he doesn't do, Parker Doyle, is turn around or get your arms up. And they've made some nice catches here in the second half. They're getting the full arsenal of those roars in.
At the 16, throwing one to the end zone. Back corner. Led Chandler too much.
Jones is passing complete. Ethan Watt in the coverage.
And you see Tommy Chandler. You see Isaiah Gonterman, Turner on that defensive line in there now, getting some playing time.
Trying to step
Fumble.
up. Lost the football. I think he got it back.
On the play.
Did Jones get it back?
He
Yes,
did.
he did. The quarterback lost it, got it back.
Jones in the recovery inside the
Yeah, I think that was big number 97, Tommy Claiborne, 6'5", 285. He's been dinged up a little bit trying to round back into form. Big kid there. He's the one that caused that, but you're right. It just bounced right back into Jones's hands.
Loss of 4 yards. That sack brought to you by your friends at Hudson Industrial Service, providing quality service for your boiler and mechanical needs since 1978. 3rd and 14. Jones with time. He's going to take off.
Carries that ball
Jones and the
loose.
keeper inside the 20.
Chopped down. Big number 90 got him for the Center Grove Trojans.
Kyle Williams leading the charge.
4th down.
Gonterman Turner, senior, with the tackle. 4 yards at the 17. Call it 4th and 12. Steps up, spin move. He's going to be well short of the first down.
Montez Jones and the keeper.
Pocket
He's
collapse.
inside the 15, short of the first
Turnover
down.
on downs. Center Grove defense continues to
Turnover
play
on
well.
downs, Center Grove.
Yeah, good job of holding there after that long pass. It's
Tommy
sort of like
Claiborne
Jones. He
leading the
gives
charge
one
for
look to
Center
somebody, and then he's going to pull it down and start running. And a good job by that defensive linebackers for Center Grove of not giving him much space.
Yeah, ever since he made that touchdown run, he thinks he's Barry Sanders out there. He's out there, not giving the football up much.
Center Grove with the football at the 12-yard line. Cherry hands it off.
Baldwin.
Grant Baldwin on the sweep. Not much there on the perimeter.
Grant Baldwin on the carry for Center Grove.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if all the starters are not playing at this point in the game with the injuries and things that we've had.
You got one right now, Baldwin.
Grant Baldwin.
Yeah, that's
he's
not
down.
good.
Yeah, he's the backup to Eli Holt. Of course, she lost Holt a couple weeks ago, and now Grant Baldwin is down here late in this game against Lawrence North. He looked so good last week. Had some nice plays here tonight for the Trojans.
Some positive news we did see before the middle school rivalry games on Tuesday night when the team was doing the sprints at the end of practice. We did see an Eli Holt sighting and a knee brace on there, and was just trying to stretch it out and getting a little jogging in. So that's positive news. So hopefully his rehab will continue to go okay.
Tonight's game being presented in part by R2X Logistics, making deliveries more efficient. R2X Logistics has you covered. Quick, reliable, and overnight load tracking. R2X has the tools needed for the best logistics service. R2X, short for ready to execute. Second down and 9. Trojans spread out. They run the ball up the middle. They get it close to the 20, right at the 20. 6 yards.
Carey brought down short of the 20 to bring up 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3 the call for the Trojans. They'll spot it now at the 19. .7:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Warren Central 20, Carmel 13. Warriors back in front. Carmel had it momentarily tied.
He's short.
Yeah, that's not even close.
Gets it back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see the Trojan punt unit.
Murray Hagler in the stop drill in. Center Grove short of first down. 4th and 3.
4th and 3. Here comes Nolan Foley.
Kobe Cherry snapping the ball, long snapper, freshman.
Another nice punt by Nolan Foley. Gets a nice roll, too, all the way down to the
That's a pretty good
30-yard line.
Pretty good pickup by Foley. That ball was a little low coming back, and he made it look pretty easy.
Give me some yardage on that one, Kevin.
I would say 51 yards.
I was going to say I thought it was close to 50.
51 yards for Nolan Foley.
Our trusted spotter decided fall break was more important than coming up to the thing. So Guilfoyle, if you're listening, that's.
Look at the team. We got Austin's here tonight. Ted's here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You're here. I'm here. We got Sam and Grant up top.
Yeah, we see who's dedicated. Of course, he'll send me pictures tomorrow having a beverage on a beach somewhere, and then while it's 40 degrees.
Richardson gets outside, breaking some tackles, runs out of real estate, gets the first down.
Ollie Richardson on the carry across the 45 or near the 45.
Spotted at the
First down,
42.
Allen.
Gets him 12 yards.
The worst part was he ran out of bounds.
Stops the clock.
The clock running.
6:14 to play in the fourth.
It's open. Yeah.
Had to wait for the football, and there's a collision.
Marker of the
Penalty against the
play.
Trojans. Number 5, the guilty party.
He is not on our roster. It's not Drew Wheat, obviously. Oh, is that Gaffney?
Could be Joe Gaffney. He's been 20. He's been 5.
Yep, he was wide receiver was well behind him, and then the ball was underthrown, and receiver came back to the ball, and pretty easy call there.
First and 10 at the Trojan 43-yard line. 6:08 to play. We're in the fourth quarter. Once again going to Davion Chandler. He's been his top target tonight. Another first down for the Wildcats. Street Dreams is your one-stop shop for painting, fabrication, airbrush, wheels, stereos, and speakers. Street Dreams is proud to support Center Grove Trojan football.
I mean, Ted probably needs to get some spinners or something on his tires and a little more thump in his ride, I would imagine. So, see if Street Dreams can hook him up. Another good run by Jones.
He gets to the 5, dives for the end zone. Did he get in? Oh man, I don't think
give that.
I would say give it to him, but they're going to say he's inches shy. He goes 31 and a half. I don't know. He almost got 32 yards. I don't know. Looks like his arm with the ball landed on the goal line, but they're going to say just short. Good run by the quarterback. Montez Jones. He's been impressive here in the second half. He does get the 1-yard keeper for the touchdown.
He's surely over 100 yards himself, I'd say, at this point in time. Definitely give Eric something to work with his team this week. They've missed a number of tackles on that quarterback. I mean, he's really he's very elusive, obviously. But I'm sure Eric will feel like his team needed to do a better job tackling the football.
Well, and I think last week I'm sure he was happy because his backups outscored Pike 14-0 in that second half. Tonight, backups in on that drive and not going to be very happy with their performance on that drive.
Dempsey's good with the PAT. 38-14 Trojans. 5:14 left to play in tonight's ball game. Get back in the game at Southside Crowd Therapy today. Call 317-886-4556 for an appointment or online at SouthsideCrowdTherapy.com for more information. Mark Linder and the Mark Linder team have been representing buyers and sellers for more than 25 years. They are consistently ranked in the top 1% of the entire state of Indiana. Mark Linder, president, and Lori Brown, vice president, are proud to support the Center Grove Trojans. Also tonight's game presented in part by Onay and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Onay and Bartram is available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. We continually strive to exceed expectations by ensuring that each client receives the very best service. Call 317-889-9574 or online at onayandbartram.com.
All right, boys, I got some cat trivia or facts since we're playing the Wildcats. And I'd like to take credit for this, but this is coming from Mr. Jake Stiles, our Saturday morning sponsor. Did you know that some cats are allergic to humans? It's a scientific fact that just as humans can be allergic to cat dander, cats can be allergic to human dander.
Did not know that.
Now, how anybody figured that? I guess you got house cats that probably figured that out.
So, Rick, we're learning about Nittany lions.
Yeah. I mean, this
cat dander. What more can you?
I mean, it's almost a crime if you don't tune into this broadcast because you never know what you're going to get.
Thomason, nice return to the 44. There is a flag, though, on the 40-yard line.
Brought down across the 40, first down.
Yeah, I would expect. Man, we still got those starters out there, at least Cherry and that offensive line. And Kobe Cherry's in, actually. He'll be in at tight end, probably.
Service Pipe and Supply, proud to support Trojan football at Service Pipe and Supply. We pride ourselves on having the material needs of our clients in stock and on the shelves. Appreciate their sponsorship once again this year of Center Grove Trojan football. Late in the third quarter at Ben Davis, Lawrence Central 28, Ben Davis 14. Here comes Micah Coyle going outside, finishing off the run really strong with a nice pop near the first down marker. Right at the 40, which is close to that first down marker.
First down, Trojans.
I got to get Coyle out of that ball game and probably Tyler Cherry as well.
10 yards, first down, Trojans.
Coyle, I think, just came out. Ryland Cook.
Cherry in shotgun formation, still in there. Ryland Cook bounces off the tackler. The tackler, though, able to hang on. Brings him down. Kind of dusts himself off a little bit.
Yeah, after he gets done dusting himself off, take a look at the scoreboard.
Kylan Grubbs, senior, with the tackle.
That's one of my favorites.
4:20 and counting. We're in the fourth quarter. 38-14 all Trojans tonight. Led 31-0 at halftime. Center Grove taking its time, letting that play clock run down. Down to 4 seconds, 3 seconds before they take the snap. Here comes Coyle. I think he was a wingback. He's near a first down. He gets 9 yards.
Flag
at the 41-yard line.
Finally into carry for Center Grove, brought down near the first
on the Center Grove sideline. It is holding against the Trojans. So coming up tomorrow, we got the doubleheader. We have Center Grove Junior Varsity football in the morning at 10 o'clock. Hosting Lawrence North, and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon we'll have the live stream of the Center Grove Girls Soccer Sectional Championship match as they take on Terre Haute South at home. Center Grove Girls Soccer going for sectional title number 24. They have the state record with 23, going for 24 tomorrow. It's a final. Cathedral beats Burbuff 42-21. So the Trojans get the Irish next week back at Ray Skillman Stadium. Coyle with the reception, out of bounds at the 41-yard line. 11 yards for Coyle. Gets that yardage back and then some. It'll bring up 3rd and 9. So, Rick, I know IU tomorrow hosting Michigan. Homecoming. How about Purdue?
Boilers are on the road
at
again,
Maryland.
At Maryland, who's
That's a tough
4-1, and younger brother of Tua is their quarterback, I believe.
Yep.
So it'll be Purdue 2 or 3 point underdogs, I think. Be a tough one.
3rd and 9. Cherry play action. He's knocked to the turf as he releases that one. Looking for Noah Coy. Knocked away by 9. Cameron Armstrong Jr. knocks it away. Great coverage by Armstrong.
4th and 9.
Watch the replay. Presented by Peterman Brothers.
Yeah, that was a good play by 9. I thought there was a little contact early, but I don't think there was. I think he just swiped the ball out there. Kevin, you got one of the oldest son back in town, I believe. Is that correct? Is he going down to the IU game?
He is. Drew back in town from New York. Got in late last night. Headed down to IU for homecoming.
So when he comes home, being a big hedge fund worker like he is on Wall Street and all that good stuff, you sit down and, talk to him about individual stocks like GameStop or, I just watched a Netflix series this week about GameStop that was called Eat the Rich. And it was quite an interesting thing about all of that and the Reddit people that, kind of rose up and beat the big bad short sellers and all that stuff. Do you guys talk individual stocks, or does he give you any tips or anything like that, or is he not allowed to do that? I'm not getting in trouble, am I?
I don't think so. I just don't understand a lot of what he's saying. It's like a foreign language. It's unbelievable, the knowledge.
What are we doing here? Let's go.
Good golly.
But, his big boss, the owner, owns the New York Mets. So Drew's had an opportunity to go to a few Mets games already this year.
Oh, that's a great – oh, it hit him too.
Center Grove football.
Yep.
So hit the Lawrence North player, that's number 9. He had his back turned to the ball, that's Armstrong. And the Trojans jump on it. See the replay.
Man, that was another great punt too. That was borderline 50 yards with that right there. Trying to get out of the way, and it hits him in the leg.
80 recovers Matthew Neff, senior, for the Trojans. It'll be at the 14-yard line. But, last week Drew got a chance to go to see the New York Yankees when Judge was going for what? He had 61 home runs, had a chance to go for 62.
All right, being beside this big Yankees fan, all this, is great. He broke the American League record. He's still 7th all time in total homers. People are going crazy, Ted. Like, he just broke. Of course, most of the 6 in front of him were maybe a little tainted.
You think? I mean,
you only got Bonds. You got Sosa a couple times up there.
McGuire, your boy. They're so pumped full of PUDs that.
But I did see the guy who caught the 60-second ball was immediately got whisked out of the facility. And,
I want to know about the guy that jumped out of the stands thinking he might catch it down in the bullpen.
No gain for Coyle, 2nd and 10.
I will say
Matthew Yoder.
That is quite a year the Judge had. Be interesting to see who's going to sign him.
Well, his contract.
I heard him talking about, he's 6'7", 6'8". How long is a body like that going to last, and this and that. And somebody will come in and I'd take him out of there.
I'd be shocked if the Yankees don't pony up whatever that's going to take, 45, 50 million a year.
I would be disappointed if they ever, because not only is he a good baseball player, he seems to be a quality guy.
Trojans get the ball close to the 11. There's an injured player down for the Lawrence North Wildcats. Now he's helped back to his feet. That's Samirion Ford, he's a senior captain, defensive back, and he's going to run to the sideline. 2:17 left to play. We're in the fourth quarter, 38-14, all Center Grove tonight. Back to it next Friday, back to Ray Skillman Stadium. Regular season finale, taking on the Cathedral Fighting Irish.
Should be a doozy. I mean, number 2 versus number 3 with the Polsters moving Center Grove out of that spot after that loss to Trinity in week 3. So yeah, should be a great ball game. Got a big-time quarterback, Danny O'Neill. I think he's going to go to Kentucky tomorrow on an official visit for that game. Good run by Ryland Cook there. He's going to be real close, maybe a couple yards shy.
Well, I'm interested to watch Cathedral. I think they'll come in and they play with a little chip on their shoulder always anyway, and it should be a fantastic game. I think that they're one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the state. I still haven't really seen Brownsburg play. They must be good though. I mean, they put a lot of points on the board, and they seem to be very, very solid. So we'll find out once the sectional begins. They got some pretty good teams they got to come through over there on that side of town.
4th and a long 1 yard here for the Center Grove Trojans. And
he doesn't have it.
He gets it to the 10. Had to get it closer to the 9. Should be it's a turnover on downs.
Ludsford on the stop for LN.
1:08 left in this one. So with this win tonight, the Trojans 35 straight wins against Indiana teams. During that stretch, 25-0 against the Mid-Conference, going undefeated against the Mid-Conference 3 consecutive seasons. Again, that's never been done before. And the Trojans now 17 straight road wins against teams from the state of Indiana. And I asked Ted before tonight's game if he could remember the last time the Trojans had lost a home game. You got to go back to August 30th, 2019. Center Grove lost to New Palestine 28-9. That's the last time Center Grove lost at home. August 30th, 2019. Jones at quarterback, pulls it, throws it, middle of the field, man wide open.
He's got 5 guys down the field, linemen, that are at least 5 yards down the field.
I can hear our coaches to our right in the box. I think they're saying the same thing. Chandler does make the reception, and he gets it to the 31-yard line. Puts one out there, airs it out. Incomplete pass, 13. Mario Lomax almost comes up with it. 45 seconds to play in this one. So Center Grove's JV and freshman teams both undefeated. Rick, with wins tomorrow by freshman JV teams, the Trojans will get a complete sweep against all the mixed schools this year in football.
Yeah, only 1 loss in all 3 teams so far, Kevin. So, yeah, if they're able to keep that going tomorrow, that'll be 23-1.
Brownsburg leading Noblesville 45-28. That's in the 4th. Mooresville and Martinsville in a good one, tied at 31 apiece. That's late in the 4th quarter.
Keep the clock running.
They're in the hurry-up offense.
At the 38-yard line?
Just put a knee down, man.
25 seconds on the clock. Richardson.
First down. We got
flag on the play at the 40.
Oh, goodness.
Ollie Richardson on the carry for LN. Don't forget, LN
stops the clock with 17 seconds.
You need to make sure that contact has been made.
Yeah, the good thing is he marks this off. I think they start the clock right away. So head ref needs to get that arm moving.
Well, gentlemen, Warren Central 20, Carmel 13. It's a final.
Wow.
Warren Central over Carmel 20-13.
I still think they got enough talent over there to give, Center Grove was able to get through the sectional. That's more than likely their regional opponent is Warren Central, and it's just putting it all together.
Down to 5 seconds. Should be the final play, barring a defensive penalty. 13, that's Mario Lomax. Wonderful catch. And that's your final play of the ball game. 38-14, the Center Grove Trojans with the victory, improving to 7-1 on the season. Lawrence North falls to 3-5 on the season. Center Grove back to it next Friday. Race-Going Stadium against the Cathedral Fighting Irish. Ted, some final thoughts. It was an impressive win for the Trojans. I know it got a little sloppy here at the end, but all in all, just
it's a very
game.
impressive win, and just what it says about Coach Moore, Eric Moore, and what he's created down here on the south side of town. Just unbelievable that you can go 3 years, not being beaten. I mean, 3 years in the MIC. I mean, we know how difficult it is to win one night, let alone 25 nights in a row. So congratulations to Eric, his team, and they continue to play and get better. But Friday night will be a battle. Cathedral's a very good football team. They haven't been able to beat Center Grove the last 2 or 3 years, and I know that'll be something that they've been pushing for all week. So I expect them to bring their best, and I expect Center Grove to play their best. It should be a great night.
Safe travels, Ted, back to the south side. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks, guys.
Final score, 38-14. Trojans over the Wildcats here at Lawrence North High School. Up next, our Duke Holmes postgame show. This is Center Grove Trojan football, presented tonight by IU Health.
From our license plate recognition and hassle-free conveyor belt to our free vacuum stations and mat washers, Kopetsky Auto Wash is here to make sure we leave you with an extraordinary experience. We are always committed to delivering you a quick, quality, clean, is lathered, and fun. We are committed to serving our community through ongoing support of Center Grove academics, athletics, arts, and beyond. We are rooted in community and proud to offer our ongoing support to the organizations and individuals within it.
Buying a boat or pontoon with over 100 new and quality pre-owned options, Marine Center of Indiana will help you fulfill your boating dreams. The largest selection, the lowest prices. Regal, Sea Ray, Stingray, Berkshire, and more on sale now. Indy's only top 100 and certified master boat dealer. The best selection of boating accessories and a 50-boat service area open 6 days a week. Take advantage of our in by Monday, out by Friday policy. Marine Center of Indiana. We love what we do, and it shows. Visit online at marinecenterusa.com.
Everyone want a free furnace? Here's one for you and you. Walk the plank, Chad. Here's some candy, kids.
It's the final month to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers. Visit yourfreefurnace.com to claim yours today.
Could I get one? Sure thing. Whatever it takes.
The right care, the right support, the right time. When you need highly skilled primary care, we're right here for you with same-day appointments for safe, in-person care, virtual visits you can access at home, urgent care that lets you save a spot, and 24/7 online scheduling. IU Health gives you more options for highly skilled primary care, when, where, and how you need it. To get the right care for you, visit iuhealth.org/more options.
Final score from Lawrence North High School, 38-14, Center Grove Trojans over the Lawrence North Wildcats. Welcome, everyone, to the Duke Holmes postgame show. Many promise we deliver, and the Trojans delivered a great first half. Rick, this one was over at halftime. 31-0, Center Grove led the Wildcats at intermission. Second half a little bit sloppy, I'm sure, for the latter part of this game, but this one, again, was over at halftime.
Dominating performance in that first half, and a little bit of surprise to me. I thought Center Grove would control this game, but I didn't think they'd be up 31-0 at halftime, and it was both sides. I mean, we talked about it. Halftime yardage, 322 for Center Grove, 54 for Lawrence North, so they were fantastic. Both sides of the ball, plus special teams in addition to that with a nice onside kick recovery by Foley. So a good performance by Center Grove, and then in the second half, I thought Lawrence North did a good job of competing. Got a couple touchdowns on the board. Center Grove got one, but Center Grove will get out of here with another win over a MIC opponent and another win over an Indiana opponent as well.
Yeah, let's look at the numbers. So in this series, Center Grove now leads the series against Lawrence North in football 27-8. During the Coach Eric Moore era, it's now 24 wins, 1 loss for Coach Moore against the Wildcats, 18 straight wins for Coach Moore's Center Grove teams against Lawrence North. And you're right, Rick, Center Grove has won 35 in a row now against Indiana teams, going undefeated in 2020, 2021, and so far against Indiana teams here in 2022. One more game here in the regular season. That'll be Cathedral coming up on Friday back home at Ray Skillman Stadium. And during this stretch, the Trojans go undefeated against the mixed schools for the past 3 years. That's 25-0 if you count the regular season and the postseason games combined. So Center Grove 25-0 in this stretch against the mixed schools. What more can you say other than that's just pure domination by the Trojans?
Exactly right. I mean, obviously, last year was the first time anybody went back-to-back undefeated, and Center Grove turns around and goes undefeated again against those MIC opponents this year. So you're right, 25 in a row, and you're tacking on also the times that they beat them and all the MIC teams that they end up playing on the way to the state championship as well, and seeing Carmel in finals and all of that as well. So it's been an unbelievable run. Next week's going to be a real big challenge. I think it'll obviously be Center Grove's toughest ball game since the Ben Davis game in week 4, and Cathedral will be ready to try to knock off Center Grove after Center Grove's won the last couple in that series.
I know it's fall break for Center Grove, so students off next week. A lot of families go on vacation, but if you're in town, come out next Friday. Support the Trojans. It's going to be a big game. Of course, if you can't make it, we'll be there with the live stream on Friday night as well. Let's go back to our Dan Gandolf Financial Services scoreboard for the final time tonight. Brownsburg winning big at home against the Noblesville Millers, 45-28 in the HCC. Cathedral beating Brebeuf tonight, 42-21. Franklin Central at home losing a conference game to Hamilton Southeastern, 38-14. Warren Central, we talked about that earlier, getting the win at home against Carmel, 20-13. That's a huge win for the Warriors. North Central at home now losing to Pike, 26-21. That's in the fourth quarter. Avon in the fourth quarter trying to get its first win this season. They're only up by 7 against Zionsville, 27-20. It's a final. Fishers at home losing to Westfield 28-17. That's also a conference game. And Ben Davis at home losing a conference game to Lawrence Central 28-14. We've been so impressed with Ben Davis, but also we saw a great Lawrence Central team in the first half back at Ray Skillman Stadium. So 2 very good teams there in the Mid-Conference, and Franklin in a Johnson County matchup and also a Mid-State Conference matchup, winning at Greenwood tonight 41-6. And in the fourth quarter, Roncalli trails Elder out of Cincinnati, Ohio, 24-23. So, Rick, some final thoughts. Again, I thought Center Grove, hopefully we get out of this game. I know Grant Baldwin went down late, but you just hope you get out of these games with injury-free. We shall see. But didn't look good when Grant went down here late.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're always worried about. You didn't see, thankfully, any, what appeared to be serious ones like we've seen the last few weeks or whatever that's knocked out some of the Trojans. So hopefully, yeah, you get rested up, you get in that pool tomorrow morning, and then you get back at it. It's going to be a different kind of week with like you said, the kids on fall break. I'm sure Coach Moore wants to keep it as
similar as possible in a typical week, but he can't be with some of these kids for 24 hours a day, so he's going to try to make sure. And if you're loyal to the team, if you're a good team member, you're going to take care of yourself and make sure that you do everything possible to get ready for that game next Friday night.
So, Rick, you and I, along with Grant, back at it tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, Ray Skillman Stadium. Center Grove Junior Varsity team undefeated on the season. We'll host Lawrence North at 10 o'clock. We'll be there with a live stream presented by Team Styles of Compass Realty.
Is Jake going to drop off some hot chocolate or something?
We need it. We need it.
I'm not a coffee guy, but I'd be happy for him to drop off some of that hot chocolate up to the press box tomorrow morning. I'll see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate your work tonight. Once again, your final score tonight, 38-14. Center Grove Trojans victorious here on the road, improving to 7-1 on the season. Wildcats fall to 3-5. Again, Trojans back home next Friday night against the Cathedral Fighting Irish. Kickoff 7 o'clock. We'll be there with the live stream. Join us tomorrow morning for the Junior Varsity Contest at 10 o'clock. Until then, this is Kevin Conrad for Rick Embry and Ted Kitchell saying good night, everyone, from Lawrence North High School.